we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host of the Racing for the Climate broadcast show, Nikki Shields.
Hello, and a very special welcome to Racing for the Climate. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, the grand finale of the World EX Championship. And what a ride it's been so far. Today, of course, we will find out who is going to clinch that World Championship title in the first season of this brand new esports racing series. And thanks for joining us, because it really has been an incredible journey so far. We've seen 9 absolutely fantastic events, really wheel-to-wheel action. And so I'm pretty sure that the grand finale is going to deliver plenty of drama too. Now, today, you're actually going to be treated to even more race action than ever before in World X. So I thought, just to kind of explain how the grand finale is going to work, who better than to get on the show is the World EX co-founder, DTM champion and Le Mans winner, Mike Rockenfeller. Mike, welcome. How are you? Can't believe it. We're at the grand finale. What a journey it's been.
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, you're right. It has been a long journey for sure, and we are happy, obviously, that we are already in round 10, and we learned a lot, and I'm very excited, tonight to have the final round of our championship, and obviously right after to have the big finale where we will basically see the first world champion of our EX championship this year. It will be a 2-lap shootout right after the normal event, and let's see who gets the last ticket. We already have 7 guys there. Maybe one of the 7 wins tonight, or maybe there's a new one. We will see.
It's going to be nail-biting stuff, that's for sure. So tell us, can you reveal, where are we racing tonight?
Well, we are on the Nürburgring Sprint Circuit. It's a circuit we maybe people know from DTM, because we used it a lot. Basically, every year we were racing on this sprint circuit. So it's a shortcut, basically after turn 4. And it's very unique track. It's I think it's not easy to overtake. And like I said, after that, after the sprint event, let's say, we go to the finale, and we will have 2 laps on the famous Nordschleife, which, I can't wait to see.
Yeah, that final 2-lap shootout at the Nordschleife, that will be the decider of who wins the Drivers' World Championship. And it really is going to be pretty spectacular to watch. Now, Mike, I mean, we've seen 7 different winners over the first 9 events. I mean, that's pretty amazing. It shows just how competitive it really is. Who do you think is going to get that 8th place on the grid for that grand finale? Or perhaps maybe, one of our 7 winners will score another win. What do you think?
Well, that's a difficult one to answer. Obviously, we have seen at the beginning of the year Lasse Sørensen to really stand out. He won 3 out of the first 5 events. So we were thinking, man, he just walks through the championship. And the other drivers got stronger and stronger. They really digged in, and they got to know the car better. And we have 7 different ones already qualified, so that's not too bad, I would say, out of 9 rounds. And now another chance. And I think we have many guys which have been close. Michi Hoyer is one of them for sure. He finished second 2 times, but also Alan Terzig has been very unlucky, very fast guy, and many others. So difficult to tell, and we will see.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. It would be nice to see an 8th driver get into that final race, that's for sure. Well, Mike, thanks for quickly running us through the plan for today. But actually, because we do have so much race action taking place today, we actually decided to keep the pre-race show rather tight. And actually, we're going to jump directly into level 1 qualifying. But of course, we're not going to miss out on the track guide, particularly because it is actually a rather short track guide. So we've kept that one in the show, that's for sure. Let's take a look at the Nürburgring Sprint Circuit with Mike Rockenfeller.
Yeah, for the final round of our World EX Championship this year, we will use the Nürburgring Sprint track. So it's the short version of the Grand Prix track. I used to drive it a lot in DTM over the years. I think it's a really fantastic one, and not easy to overtake, not easy to drive. And I think the best to explain it is if we go on board now with our EX0. Here we go. We're on start finish, starting the lap. Braking for corner 1. It's a tight one. Oh, I missed a bit the braking already. Not a good start. And then corner 2. It's opening up a bit on the exit. Nice drift here with our car. The 4-wheel drive, it's always quite cool to go on power and feel the power of the car and also drift it in a 4-wheel drift, let's say, or 4-wheel slide. Here we are in mid corner, first left, second right. We need to be early on power here. Go downhill towards Hatzenbach. It's a flat out section. And now we will hopefully see some good overtaking here. Braking for the last chicane. And then we are heading into the last corner. Tight right-hander. Again, can go wide here on the curb. And that was already the lap here at the Nürburgring. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward for some great racing.
We certainly did enjoy that, Mike. Thank you very much. Now, obviously, it's a very short track, but normally there is plenty of racing action involved. The question is it going to produce good head-to-head battles? Because, of course, that is what level 1 is all about. That's what qualifying really is. It's those head-to-head battles, and you want to be the driver that comes out on top, of course. So we are about to see 10 head-to-head battles, no less, and all of the winners will automatically qualify for level 1, whereas all the losers will all go through to level 2 and compete in the last chance race to try and secure themselves a spot in level 3. So without further ado, let's take a look at the level 1 pairings.
This is level 1, the qualifying.
So there we have it. We have Nicholas Hillebrand going up against our World Championship leader, Lasse Sorensen, the TK9 E-Speed. Alan Terzig there, one driver who has really proved performance, but still hasn't got a place in that grand finale. Spa winner Bruno Senna from Williams Esports versus GT star Dries van Thor from WRT. Now from down under, we have one of the 2 female drivers on the grid today, Emily Jones, and she's facing stiff competition from Luca Munro from Overtake Magazine. It's Esteban Muth up against Gordon Much from Roman Grosjean's team, R8G. 2 esports racers going head to head, 2 World EX winners, Luca Kita versus Rooster Capet. Then it's Henry Jury from Patrick Long Esports going up against Yifi Ye from China. Two very fast esports racers. Estoril winner Martin Stefanko versus Lasse Beck, who was doing his third race for TK9 eSpeed. Then it's Biskevissa, well known from the W Series, and of course it's Mike Rockenfeller, who we managed to catch up with earlier. And last but not least, we have the 28 driver Thomas Schmid going up against Liam de Waal.
Okay, talk to Lasse.
Right, okay, so Lasse, let's have a quick word before you jump into, well, you're already in the driving seat, aren't you? But you've been the World Championship leader since round 1, but it kind of all starts from 0 in the grand finale. So what's your plan going to be?
Well, I did a lot of training up to this event, so we're just going to go all in, and hopefully, I mean, it's going to be a hard race because obviously it's a long lap and a lot of slipstream opportunities, but I think it's going to be fun and it's going to be exciting for the spectators.
Excellent, that's what we like to hear. Well, let's have a quick catch up with your competitor, Nicholas.
Hello.
Hello. Now, you have jumped in for, well, you called him your idol, I think, Frank Bieler, in the last 2 rounds, and now you're fighting for the World Championship. That's pretty cool.
Dave, be prepared. We're starting soon.
Yeah, just kind of out of nowhere. It came kind of last minute as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the race.
Good. All right, then. Well, we'll let you get focused and see you at the end.
Good luck.
Dave,
Yeah, to you too, man.
Yeah,
So this is going to be...
That's a good lane.
Yep.
A phenomenal clash between Lasse Sorensen and Nicholas Hillebrand. All good, nice gestures and very polite between the two of them before we get the race underway. But it will be gloves off. And who's going to make it around this sprint circuit? Here are the klaxons. Lights are out. Let's go racing. Welcome to the RCCO World EX Championship. It is the grand finale then, and into turn number 1, which is a right-hander. It's almost a hairpin. You run downhill. It's very easy to get this turn wrong. It's very easy to get this turn right. And at the moment, it's Nicholas Hillebrand leading Lasse Sorensen at the moment, but Lasse Sorensen almost getting to the inside as they go through the stadium sequence. A little love tap there between the two of them. And as Mike said in our track preview, this is such a quick, tight circuit. You've got to take your chances and be prepared to really go as fast as you can. So around the little switchback, then into this as we head towards the bit turn, left, then right. And then we'll be running down behind the paddock here at the Nürburgring with the next turn, which is turn number 8, which is where the drivers are approaching now, taking full chat flat, even in these fantastic EX0 cars. And it is Lasse Sorensen up against Nicholas Hillebrand, and it's Lasse Sorensen into the chicane first time. And around they go, they take the exit. And I have to say, it's been a good lap from both of these drivers, very, very close. And you can see that Nicholas Hillebrand doing everything he can to try and get on terms with Lasse Sorensen.
Good race.
But it is Lasse Sorensen that does it.
Not the front grip that I wanted.
It's so hard with the cold brakes into turn 1, and yeah, just the first half of the lap.
Yeah.
So the victory goes to TK9 eSpeed and Lasse Sorensen then, who shows us our first action from our grand finale as we race for the climate here at the Nürburgring this evening. And the sprint circuit being used, of course, in preparation for the grand finale, which will be on the huge Nordschleife. So at the moment, the 11 turns, 7 right, and 4 left-handers of the 3.629 Nürburgring Sprint Circuit is what's being used, but then we turn our attention to the 20.8 kilometre Nordschleife a little bit later on with some 73 turns. 33 left, 40 right. All the best for that, chaps. Very much looking forward to that. And here is confirmation of the result then. Lasse Sorensen for TK9 eSpeed takes the victory in our first qualifying session tonight, with Nicholas Hillebrand for Bieler Racing Team Euronics taking P2. So straight through to level 3 is Lasse Sorensen. Got to do it again in level 2, Nicholas Hillebrand.
Back to Nikki with Michi Hoyer.
Absolutely, he does it indeed. Right, let's have a quick catch up with Mickey Hoyer. Mickey, you've been really fast in most of these races, but how would you say you would rate your first World EX season so far? And do you think you'll get a last minute ticket for the finale?
It is a bit extendable. Like being twice in the final is obviously great, but missing out to make it into the championship finals race is, yeah, I mean, the last time I missed out for 22,000, which is still a bit hurting to a certain extent. But yeah, overall, I think it has been a good learning season. Lots of things learned, lots of things that can be taken into season 2, and now I just want to have some fun tonight.
Haha. Yes, you will have fun, I'm sure. But I have a feeling you want to get into that grand finale too. Alan Terzig, let's see how you're doing. Because once again, Alan, you've been fast in all of the races, but also you've had a little bit of bad luck on your side. Do you think today is the day? Can you take the win and get into the finale?
We'll see. I don't like to use the word luck, but this season has been just a joke for me. So let's hope today is different.
Yeah, fingers crossed the luck will be on your side over the course of today. Well, on that note, good luck.
Thank you.
So here are two drivers that just at the beginning of the season I would have said almost a shoe-in.
Don't humiliate.
They haven't done it yet. Let's see if they can do it now. So here we are then with Alan Terzig and Mickey Hoyer side by side on the main straight at the Nürburgring. We await the start, just 5 seconds away from lights out, ready to go. Into turn number 1. Hold on. Oh, held for a little while on the final clacks and the final lights. So Alan Terzig inside line going into turn number 1. Mickey Hoyer, I suggest, will go out wide and then try and cut underneath Alan Terzig. That's precisely what he does. Both cars get a bit sideways. Alan Terzig, though, still got that inside line. But if Mickey Hoyer can maintain the momentum, he might be able to get by here. It's always a good opportunity. And as we found out from early on, the first qualifying session, when you're on those new cold tyres, whoa, Mickey Hoyer, a very, very rare mistake, loses the back end of the car, makes contact with the barriers. He's got it pointing back in the right direction again. However,
where'd you go?
It's going to be a monumental task for him to get on terms with Alan Terzig. And, well, there is Mickey doing his level. Doing his level best now.
Not used to it, I'm guessing.
And disappearing up the road is Alan Terzig. Into the chicane. And Mickey Hoyer is only now reaching the chicane. So this is very much Alan Terzig's race in this qualifying session. He goes through, takes the curbs and breaks the timing beam. And it's going to be just a couple of seconds before we see Mickey Hoyer doing exactly the same. There he is. He crosses the beam now, crosses the line. He was actually 4.5 down on Alan Terzig in the end, but a good recovery when he did manage to get it pointing back in the right direction again. But Alan Terzig is the winner of that Q race. So level 1 race winner, Alan Terzig. That means he goes through, and Mickey Hoyer is going to have to do it all over again in level 2. As you can see, confirmation of the result on screen for you. Level 3 immediate for Alan Terzig for BS Plus competition. Mickey Hoyer for Absolute Racing, Nicky Shields. He's going to have to do it all over again in level 2.
Oh, he's not going to be happy about that one, that's for sure. But I am very happy for Alan Terzig. The run of bad luck has ended. So good luck to him in the next one. Right, let's have a catch up now with Brazilian racing driver Bruno Senna. Bruno, always a pleasure to see you. Obviously, tonight is the big night. You are up against some pretty fast esport racers. So how would you rate your chances to become world champion?
Hey, Nikki. It's a pleasure to be back here as well. I missed the last one, unfortunately, but very happy to be back. Yeah, the competition is always very stiff here. This track is very, very tough. I think the big one, the Nordschleife, just in a couple of hours will be even harder. But I'm very happy to be part of this last round, and hopefully we can have a good result again for Williams.
Absolutely go out on a high. Well, let's see how your competitor is doing, Dries van Thor, because he's also had a really good season in real racing this year. But do you enjoy esports racing, I suppose, maybe despite the results not quite matching those in the real world?
Well, I mean, I try my best. It's not always going as I would like, of course, but I'm enjoying the time, and I'm enjoying racing the guys. So that's the most important. Of course, I would like to win, but yeah, maybe this weekend. Who knows? This race, sorry.
Absolutely, absolutely. Always a final chance. So good luck for today's qualifying.
Thank you.
So Bruno Senna up against Dries van Thor, whom I was with just a couple of weeks ago at the Nürburgring. And was it just me, or did Bruno Senna have some really large milkshakes behind his camera there?
Yes, you as well, mate.
So nice camaraderie between the two of them.
Man, this track is so hard to overtake.
Yeah, it's like as soon as the first corner is done, it's maybe the chicane, but it's always too risky.
Never, Dries, never.
Let's have some fun here and see what we can do.
Here comes the start signal. So Bruno Senna and Dries van Thor head to head then as they head into turn number 1, and Bruno Senna with the inside line. Dries van Thor very cautious for WRT, but caution sometimes can pay dividends. Let's see. Through the stadium section of this fantastic Nürburgring Sprint Circuit then, and all over the back end of Bruno Senna is Dries van Thor. They are very, very close. Merely 3/10 between the two of them as they head now towards the turn 5.
It's so tricky, so easy to lock up and go.
Yeah, it's tricky when... What region do you normally run?
I'm on region 10 because otherwise I have too much understeer.
So trying to help each other as they're racing together. Absolutely amazing. Now Dries van Thor, as he goes through turn 8, full chat flat. Is he going to be able to get to the inside line for the chicane? No, he's not. Holds it together nicely. Now, this is where you would ordinarily set up a move for turn number 1. But of course, these guys are not going to get the opportunity for that because it is this one-lap shootout, which Bruno Senna wins.
Lucky there.
With a commanding drive ahead of Dries van Thor.
Yeah. If you make your car very wide, then it's just very hard to overtake, but any mistakes are so easy as well.
Yeah, in real life it's also impossible to overtake on this one.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I had one 2 weeks ago actually there. And
wow.
Well, it's impossible.
I never drove this version of this track before.
Well, you did jolly well, Bruno, because you've taken the win for Williams Esports. He goes straight through to level 3. Dries van Thor, Esports Team WRT, straight through to level 2. We're straight back with Nikki Shields now.
I love how they were swapping secrets on which regen setting they were on during the course of that race. Very impressive, can clearly multitask. Well, let's have a quick catch up with Emily, the driver in our next qualifying round. She's based in Australia, so it must be a very early start for Emily.
Yeah, very early start.
What time is it?
It's 7:30 in the morning, and I'm a bit sick, so I sound terrible. And yeah, I don't know. Should be a good race. We'll see.
Oh, well, thank you very much for making the effort and joining us for this race. It's going to be a great one. Now, you've been a wildcard driver before, but now you've been called up by WRT. Is that pretty exciting?
Yeah, it was really, I guess it was a big compliment to get the call up from WRT. They're an amazing team. I watched them in real world kicking butt and stuff. So it's a huge compliment.
Excellent. Well, get the coffee in you, and good luck for the race. Luca, let's have a catch up with you. Now, I believe that you actually had your first experience on rFactor 2 only yesterday. Tell us about your background.
So I typically race on PlayStation 5 with Gran Turismo Sport and F1 2021. This is a huge step up, and Surprisingly, I've been doing all right for someone who has my experience. I specialise in talking about esports rather than actually doing it, and I'm about to prove why.
Well, you've you've got the hair to go with it, though. I love it. What a great look.
Nikki, stop. We're starting.
Yeah, this is actually Jorge Lorenzo's. Even though I'm not like a huge fan of his, I liked the red streak he did at the end of
Right, the
2017.
race is about to start, so get
Oh, shoot.
focused.
Well,
about
forgive
getting
Lucas'
straight into
colourful language and colourful hair. Let's go racing. So, it is Jones for WRT, then into turn number 1. And Munro got to go around the outside, or maybe now the inside, as a door has been left open. Window of opportunity there for Luca Munro, who goes through, but Emily Jones will fight back, and indeed successfully does so, and oh so polite between the two of them. It's wonderful. So Emily Jones leading Luca Munro then for WRT around turn number 5,
Emily,
now
I'll
heading
let you,
towards.
If you let me win, I'll pay you money.
I feel like that's
Already.
I can't do that.
Already money is exchanging hands for
Oh,
the honour
shit.
of the victory.
Oh, no.
Right,
And
sorry.
once again, apologies for Luca's language,
That's
which
done it.
amazes me, given that he is someone that talks
I
about it
promise
more
not
than
to swear,
drives
and I
it.
apologise.
Thank you. Emily Jones, then, it's going to be a commanding victory if around the final turn she's able to hold it together, and why would she not, despite the fact it's 7:30 a.m. in Australia. Emily Jones takes the win for WRT team, and
Oh, that
Luca
was great.
Munro takes that P2 place some
Good race.
2.5 seconds down. On the Nürburgring Sprint Circuit, it is the RCCO Racing for the Climate World EX Championship final round. We are at the Nürburgring, and we will bring you confirmation of the result, not that there's any doubting it for one moment, and that is that Emily Jones for esports team WRT goes through to level 3. Luca Munro, then the wild card driver with the big hair and colourful hair, is going to have to do it again in level 2.
Oh, well, very polite, I suppose, between the two of them, which is good to see. Right, let's have a quick catch up now with Esteban, who is back on the grid. He was with us in Spa. Esteban, have you had a bit of practice since then?
No, but I have driven yesterday a bit, and now an hour, so should be fine.
Excellent fighting talk. Good luck. Let's speak to
Thank
your
you.
competitor, Gordon, see how he's doing. Now, actually, Gordon, you've just had an invitation by McLaren in the real world, which sounds rather exciting. Can you tell us more about this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I had the incredible opportunity to come and participate in the McLaren Development Drive Program. So, of course, that gives the opportunity to drive a McLaren 570S next year in British GT with the guidance of McLaren, which is an incredible opportunity. So, that's already took place. I feel like I've done a really good job. So, a bit of an intense job interview, but I look forward to hearing back from them soon.
Wow, isn't that amazing? And that's a reminder of what the opportunities can bring from being spotted in the esports. You can then, of course, convert to racing in the real world. Right, without further ado, I think it's time for qualifying.
Indeed it is. So the overtaker, Esteban Moot, up against Gordon Much then, and
You too.
there is Esteban. And we have just a couple of seconds before the start signal gets underway. And big news, of course, for Gordon Much then, getting that McLaren development drive potentially. Just the invitation alone must make it all worthwhile. So these drivers now go head-to-head in the World EX Championship Racing for the Climate finale here. We are at the Nürburgring and using the sprint circuit for our series of qualifying head-to-heads, and it's very much head-to-head between Gordon Mutt and Esteban Mutt and Gordon Much. And at the moment, it is Gordy that has got the P1 position ahead of Esteban Mutt. And let's see if it's going to stay that way for the conclusion of the lap. So they're round turn number 5 now, heading towards the bit turn, which is the left-hander, then the right-hander. Then you run behind the paddock here at the Nürburgring. And, well, you can see Esteban trying to do everything he can and unfortunately getting the car pointing in the wrong direction, which was not part of the overall strategy, I can assure you. Come on, Esteban. This plays nicely into the hands of Guldenkov, who is up the road and already approaching the chicane. So it's left first, then right, climb uphill, try and take a bit of curb if you can, but not too much, because that can really unsettle these fantastic EX0 cars. And Guldenkov really has done a fantastic job here. And you can see why McLaren are looking at him, because he crosses the timing line now, having taken the win from Esteban.
What happened there, mate? Do you have a spinner?
Yeah, I spun on my own.
Ah, unlucky, mate. Good race.
Thanks.
And loving the politeness as Esteban now crosses the timing line, some 12 seconds down on Guldenkov, who did the job. And here, confirmation of that result. Then it is Guldenkov that takes the P1 position ahead of Esteban Moot. Any moment now, there it is for R8G Esports. Then straight through to level 3 for Guldenkov, and at level 2 he'll have to do it again. Esteban Moot. Nikki.
Thank you very much. Right, now let's go into our next race. Henry, we're going to be chatting to you. Now, as far as I understand, we've been told that you're going to be tackling the Pikes Peak with an electric car next year in the real world. Apologies. We're actually going to be speaking to Luca Kita next. I'm getting ahead of myself. Luca Kita, welcome. Now, this is a home event for you, isn't it? So does that give you a bit of a home advantage?
Yeah, it's a home event for me, but I think that's no advantage for me. I think I'm really quick on this track, but yeah, Risto is quick too, so it's going to be a good fight, and let's have fun in the last race.
Absolutely fun indeed. Risto Capet, now you've already qualified for the grand finale. So what's the strategy for the race on the sprint circuit?
Yeah, I'll just take it race by race, but yeah, I'll just be trying to keep it clean and get as far as possible as I can into this GP track race. But yeah, all the focus is on the Nordschleife one.
Take it easy, protect your car, look after yourself. Well, enjoy your qualifying.
Thanks.
Yeah, right. Like we believe that, Risto, you're going to give it everything. Of course you are. So, Risto Capet then up against Luca Kita as these two fine drivers go head-to-head. They've delivered so much entertainment for us during the course of our first season of the RCCO World EX Championship. The cars lined up on the grid. To the right-hand side of your screen, it is Risto Capet then, who we can see, and we are but a few seconds away from the starting procedure getting underway. It's Kita against Capet then. Local gig for Luca Kita. He doesn't think that it will give him any advantage. Let's see. We're about to go racing. So Luca Kita then with the inside line, but a very good start from Risto Capet, who gets the traction off the start-finish line. Into turn number 1 then, and as I've mentioned before, it's kind of a hairpin where you run downhill. It's very easy to get it wrong. It's not so easy to get it right, and at the moment the man that has got it right is the local man, Luca Kita, who is leading Risto Capet, who has already suggested that he's going to just hold everything back until it comes to the Nordschleife, like I believe one word of that. As they head up towards turn number 5 now, the right-hand hairpin, you run downhill once again before back on the gas again just momentarily in these fantastic EX0 cars through the left-hander at bit turn, which is turn 6, then turn 7. And you run now full chat flat all the way through turn number 8, which is but a kink. And there it is. And in these cars, it must be absolutely awesome to go through there. Right, into the chicane now, and Luca Kita then with about 3/10 over Risto Capet then, and into the final turn, turn number 11. Long sweeping right-hander before being back on the start-finish straight, and you can see how Luca Kita was battling with the wheel, but he needn't battle because he has been victorious.
I think we also had a good lap time, I guess.
13.8, yeah, it's quite good.
Nice.
Well done, Luca Kita. Well done, Risto Capit. Luca Kita, though, he takes the victory. We'll get the confirmation of the result because Race Control, of course, look at everything. I don't think there was anything contentious in that at all. Luca Kita then for Bila Racing Team Euronics goes straight through to level 3. Risto Capit for RAG Esports, he's going to have to go again in level 2.
He is indeed. The fight is still very much on for Risto Capet. Right, let's do a take 2 and see if we can speak to Henry. Henry, I want to ask you, is it true you are going to be tackling the Pikes Peak with an electric car next year in the real world? Tell us more.
We've entered. I can't confirm our entry yet. It doesn't close until January 13th. So, but hopefully, yes.
That sounds very exciting. Have you done Pikes Peak before?
I haven't raced it. My team has. I was the crew chief last year, so should be fun.
Excellent. Well, good luck. And yeah, do tell us more. Now, let's go to your competitor for this round, Yiffy. Gotta say, a massive congratulations. Big news for you, becoming a Porsche factory driver. Wow. Do you think you're going to be at Le Mans with Porsche in one of those incredible LMDH cars in 2022?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I had a great season and joining Porsche, hopefully in 2023, LMDH will be the ultimate goal, I think. But still a long way to go and hopefully all the best. And hopefully the race goes well right now with Henry, so looking forward to it.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, your career is on a great trajectory at the moment, but for now, all eyes on this race. Good luck.
Thank you.
Here we go then with our next qualifying shootout. It is Henry Drury up against Yiffy Yi then, and both of them hugely successful drivers and looking forward very much to success when it comes to this, the RCCO World EX Championship as we race for the climate then. Henry Drury and Yiffy Yi about to go side by side with merely 9 seconds awaiting these drivers in terms of anticipation and excitement before the start sequence will get underway right now. Well, for whatever reason, we lost the sound of the klaxons. It matters not because we are away and racing with Henry Drury on the inside line, Yiffy Yi on the outside. And Yiffy Yi taking it very, very long and deep, which is not necessarily the best way through turn number 1 into turn 2 now with Henry Drury seeing and giving Yiffy Yi a clean pair of heels. However, Yiffy Yi has caught up very quickly indeed. So this isn't all over. It's not game over for Henry Drury yet as they head up towards turn number 5 now. The sweeping right-hander downhill as well. Get your braking absolutely right. Back on the gas again before the next turn, which is turn number 6, the first turn for the bit turn. Left-hander, then right-hander, and then getting a good trajectory here out of this turn means everything because it gives you perfect momentum along this straight around the kink, which is turn number 8, and then heavy braking area into the chicane. It's left first of all, then right. And for my money, Henry Drury has got this all sewn up really rather nicely. Just one turn to do. It's turn number 11, the sweeping right-hander. Before we're back on start-finish once again, and victory goes to Henry Drury. Ahead of Yiffy Yi, who takes P2, 7 tenths or 7.5 tenths between the two of them. Well done, Henry. Good job done.
Well done, race. Good race.
Did you get a lag spike in turn 2?
And bug? No, not really.
Okay.
So we await confirmation of the result from Race Control. Here it comes. Result of level 1 qualifying 7. Henry Drury for Patrick Long Esports. He's through to level 3. Yiffy Yi for Absolute Racing. It's a level 2 because he takes a P2. Let's go back to our fine broadcast host now, Nikki Shields.
Thank you very much. What a kind introduction. Right, okay, let's have a quick chat to Martin because, well, it's confirmed, of course, that you will be starting in the grand finale on the Nordschleife on the front row of the grid. So what's your target in the sprint circuit?
We just lost him.
I think we might have lost a bit of connection there with Martin, so maybe we can have a chat to Lasse instead.
Lasse's here.
Who he's going to be competing against. Brilliant. Okay, so Lasse, quick word with you. Now, you've done 2 World EX rounds for TK9 eSpeed so far. Tell us, what are your impressions of the championship? Have you been enjoying it?
It's definitely different from what I'm used to, but it's fun. The car is definitely also difficult, but yeah, just trying to experience it and just enjoy it.
Good, excellent. Let's see if we might be able to reconnect with your competitor for this level 1 race, Martin. See if we can have a word with him before we go into
start the race.
This race. No, we're not going to be able to, so not a problem. We're just going to get cracking with the race. Good luck.
Here we go then, Lasse back and Martin Stefanko going head-to-head then in this Q race. And you can see Lasse back very focused and very concentrating already before we even get onto the grid.
All non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
All non-essential personnel leave the grid. Blast, that means I've got to go into the studio rather than be down there on the track. And good, nice conversation between Martin Stefanko and Lasse back then as we get ready to rock and roll and soul with 10 seconds then before the start sequence. And who will take the honours in this Q race? We are but a couple of seconds away from finding out who's going to start best. So maximum power all the way down towards turn number 1. Then it's at that point you perhaps regret just how much throttle you used, maybe, if you run too deep and get sideways. But at the moment, Martin Stefanko with a good showing into turn number 3, approaching turn number 3 now, having gone through turn number 2. But Lasse back is chasing and chasing hard here, so it's not all over by the shouting by a long shot, I can tell you. Right, up towards turn number 5 now, the right-hander. Set yourself up perfectly for it. A couple of lines can be taken here, and we have seen overtakes through turn number 5, but boy, you've got to be brave to do that. And unfortunately, Lasse back nowhere near close enough to be able to put a move on Martin Stefanko at the moment. This could all change, though, as they run through turn number 7 and head towards this full chat flat. King on board with the chasing Lasse back. And you leave the braking oh so late for this chicane, and Lasse back then really being aggressive over the curbs, but taking as much as he can, using the curbs on the way out as well. Let that give you a little bit of a slingshot into this final turn, but in the end it's not enough because Martin Stefanko is victorious.
Yeah.
And Martin Stefanko stops. Rather thought you were going to do some donuts in celebration. It'd be a bit premature, I would have suggested. But you didn't, so I can't say that. So Martin Stefanko then takes it from Lasse back. Here's confirmation of that from Race Control. And here we have it in graphics as well as in voice. Victory goes the way of Lasse back. And, victory goes the way of Martin Stefanko. And Lasse back, who was doing the chasing. Just waiting for those graphics to appear on screen, which at the moment that confirmation has not come through yet. Interesting. Absolutely nothing contentious, in my opinion, in that Q race.
No results, we go to
So I'm sure there's just a technical glitch why we can't see the graphics. Come what may, Nikki Shields and Dave are there.
We'll go with a technical glitch. I'm sure Martin Stefanko will get the win that he deserved, but we'll let you know once it's been confirmed. Now we're going to have a chat to Beitske Visser because, she's a lady not only racing in the W Series, she's actually been quite busy today because Beitske, I believe you just did the finale of the VCO Pro Sim Series as well. How did that go?
Yeah, it's been a busy day. The heat went well. We finished 5th, but unfortunately in the bonus race we got crashed out. But let's see if I have some more luck here.
Ah, very frustrating indeed. Yeah, I'm sure the luck will change during the course of this evening. Patrick, you're up against Beitske Visa. Now, of course, Patrick isn't here for this round, unfortunately. He injured himself at a race last weekend, so he's not with us. So stepping into the hot seat is Mike Rockenfeller, of course. Mike, you're here on behalf of Patrick. How are you feeling about your last race of the season as well?
Well, first of all, I hope Patrick gets well soon. Again, I mean, I just got a last-minute call, and I try my best, to jump in. And I think it will be tough against Beitske, but we try our best for sure to put on a good show.
Yeah, well, she's definitely had a lot of prep today, practicing in the driving seat. So you're up against some stiff competition, but good luck.
Thank you.
So there we have it then. Beitske Visser up against Mike Rockenfeller, who has probably done a little bit more at the Nürburgring than Beitske Visser, but you would never bet against Beitske Visser, I can tell you. A very, very determined and successful young lady racing driver. So we await the cars on the grid then. Beitske Visser inside line, Mike Rockenfeller to the outside. Of course, he depping for Patrick Niederhauser. Best wishes, Patrick, for a speedy recovery. Just 4 seconds away from the starting klaxons to sound out loud here at the Nürburgring. Oh, held for quite a while on the lights then, and Mike Rockefeller gives it everything. So too does Beitske Visser as they head towards turn number 1. Now, you watch Rocky here. I think he will hang it round the outside, then try and get underneath the car of Beitske Visser, and not quite close enough to be able to do so. So Beitske Visser leads from Mike Rockefeller then into turn number 3, which is where we're heading right now, and Beitske Visser holding on to this. Mike Rockefeller piling on more lock than I thought he would. Just trying to control the immense power of these EX0 cars, and Beitske Visser appears to be controlling it slightly better than Mike at the moment, and has got a gap of some 8.5 tenths over Mike Rockenfeller. So Beitske Visser leading. There's Beitske then as we split the screen. You can see a harder work here, just the focus and concentration, which is paying dividends. Here comes Rocky, though, and he will try and reel in Beitske Visser through this kink, which is turn number 8, and heading up towards the chicane. So it's left then right. King of the late breakers then as Mike narrows that gap to Beitske Visser. But I think Beitske has done enough here, and around the final turn goes Beitske Visser, leading Mike Rockenfeller. It's going to be almost a second as they cross the timing line then. And Beitske Visser does win from Mike Rockenfeller.
Congrats.
In the end.
Congrats, Beitske. Good job.
What about that for a game?
I was too careful
predicted
at the beginning.
nearly a second. It was 0.938 in the end. Well done, Beitske Visser, victorious over Mike Rockenfeller. That's a huge, huge victory. So Beitske Visser will be going through to level 3. Mike Rockenfeller's going to have to go again for level 2, and there is confirmation of that. So BS Plus competition takes the win from Nianco Esports. Beitske Visser and Mike Rockenfeller, thank you for that Quali 9 race.
So if that was Quali 9, you know what's coming up next? It's Quali 10, which means it's our last qualifying race. So let's crack on and speak to Thomas Schmid for Nianco Esports. Now, Thomas, you've really been improving with each race. We've seen a real difference. And you've been doing a lot of esports racing. But question, why would you say that World EX is so challenging compared to others?
I think it's just the short race, the one-lap race. You have to bring everything on point, and that's difficult.
I think that's a fair enough point there, and I'm sure a lot of the drivers would agree with you. Let's see what your competitor thinks, Liam Duval. Liam, you've had some very strong races this year, and actually also last time at Indianapolis. But the question is today, how well do you know the Nürburgring?
I know it quite well, decently well, nothing special, but I've been practicing for the GP layout, but there's a part missing on the version we're using, so it doesn't really matter much, but yeah, it's a very short track, so I guess, it's going to be important to be ahead after turn 1, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That turn 1 seems to be where all the action is happening. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Here we go then. Liam Duvall has already identified the fact that get it right into turn number 1, then you're in a very, very good position for the rest of the lap. However, Thomas Schmidt will be more than well aware of that as well. So they go side by side then with 5 seconds before the starting klaxons will sound, and we will get this Q10 race underway.
Good luck.
And away we go as we head down in towards turn number 1. Liam Duvall and Thomas Schmidt then. So you can hear them working furiously. And it's oh so easy to get them sideways and get a bit of a tank slapper on there, but it's well controlled by Schmidt, who holds that P1 position at the moment. But here comes Liam Duvall on the inside, which soon becomes the outside though for the next turn. So Schmidt is denied, and Schmidt will try and come back here very, very sideways, but holds onto the car and keeps it pointing in the right direction, which is kind of critical.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Onto the inside. Oh, you meant business there,
I
didn't you?
completely missed that. I just...
Well, the place given back by Thomas to Liam, which I think is only fair. It provided some great entertainment for us, but now Thomas is really, really close to Liam as they run down the back straight here. Now, here's going to be an opportunity if Thomas can get to the inside of Liam Duvall as they head towards the chicane. And you can see him lining him up here. Is he going to be able to do it? Take quite a bit of curb, little bit of sideways moment for Liam Duvall, but he holds on to it and controls it nicely. And then it is the drag to the start finish straight. Liam Duvall has done it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry. Was a nice drift.
So plenty of sideways action from both Liam Duvall and Thomas Schmidt. Liam Duvall, though, victorious and seeing some 4/10 of margin over Thomas Schmidt as they went to the line. So good stuff indeed. Thank you, gentlemen. Here is confirmation of your result. Liam Duvall for Patrick Long Esports. He's straight through to level 3. Thomas Schmidt for Nianco Esports is at level 2. And with no further ado, here is Nikki.
Thank you. Just shows how easy it is to make contact, just how close the wheel-to-wheel action is in these qualifying races. Now, let's just a reminder of what is going on today, because the Drivers' World Championship will be decided today in a 2-lap sprint on the famous Nürburgring Nordschleife. And the winner of this shootout will be crowned the world champion. Very, very exciting indeed. Now, it's a little bit different when it actually comes to the Teams World Championship, because that will be awarded to the team with the most wins and podiums across the series over our 10 races. So that's how the Teams World Championship works. And so far, after round 9, it is the TK9 E-Speed team who are leading, courtesy of Lasse Sorensen's 3 wins in the first half of the season. And William Esports are the only other teacher which has won more than 1 race, and therefore really the only other team which can still beat TK9. So very exciting. Their good little battle between those two when it comes to the teams championship. So let's find out a little bit more about the battle between these two teams.
2 very different teams are fighting for the team's title in the final round of the RCCO World EX Championship at the Nürburgring. TK9 E-Speed from Denmark and Williams Esports from the UK. TK9 E-Speed was formed just a few weeks before the start of the inaugural World EX season with a clear aim, leaving a mark in esports racing. The man behind TK9 is very well known. Tom Christensen, Le Mans record winner and definitely one of the most charismatic personalities in international motorsports. T and K have always been Tom's initials, while the 9 stands for his record 9 wins in the prestigious Le Mans 24 Hours. When his former teammate Mike Rockenfeller told him about the idea of World EX and racing for the climate, Tom Christensen quickly said yes and formed his own esports team. Signing fellow countryman Lasse Sorensen as the pro driver for the young team proved to be a very good decision. the Dane was the man to beat in World EX right from the start, winning the opening round at Silverstone and 3 of the first 5 races. This means TK9 has been leading the Teams World Championship since the very first round, and the only team which still could take the crown away from the Danish outfit is Williams Esports. The two teams couldn't be more different. Williams is one of the most successful Formula One teams in the history of the sport, which has won 7 drivers' titles and 9 constructors' titles and more than 100 Grand Prix. Williams was one of the first teams to explore esports racing and is active in many virtual racing series all around the world. The esports squad is based in the same building as the Formula One team and was one of the first to commit to the forward-thinking RCCO World EX Championship. Racing for the climate is a perfect fit for Williams, which under the leadership of new CEO Jost Capito recently announced they are committed to becoming climate positive by 2030. After a slow start into the season, esports racer Martin Stefanko clinched the first victory in World EX for Williams, beating TK9's Lasse Sorensen in the night race at Estoril. The team's very popular pro racing driver Bruno Senna made it 2 in a row for Williams at Spa. In order to beat TK9, Williams Esports has to win the EX Prix of Germany at the Nürburgring. A second place would be enough for TK9 to keep Williams at bay. This is Level 1, the qualifying. Level 2, the last chance.
So there we have it. 2 of the big competitors are going head to head, of course, when it comes to the team's championship title fight. But right now we are going to go into level 2. So this is how the standings sit at the moment. These are the winners from level 1. Martin Stefanko, Alan Terzig finally got a bit of good luck instead of bad luck. Luca Kita, Beitskavissa, Bruno Senna, Henry Jury, Gordon Much, Lasse Sorensen, Emily Jones, bless her waking up so early from Australia, and Thomas Schmidt are the 10 drivers who will go directly through to level 3. Now these are the level 1 losers who have now got to compete in level 2. Risa Capet, Dries Van Tor, Lasse Back, Yiffie, Mike Rockenfeller, Nicholas Hillebrand, Luca Monroe, Mickey Hoyer, Esteban Much, and Liam de Waal. They are the drivers who are going to go straight into the next round, level 2, in that last chance battle. So what can we say? It's going to be intense, isn't it? Because any minute now, the first 4 drivers will be eliminated from level 2 and the rest will get to progress to level 3. So without further ado, let's have a quick chat. Dave, over to you.
Thank you, Nikki. Dries Van Tor, what a fine figure of a man he is there. Just getting himself together, ready for this. Of course, it's now or never, Dries Van Tor. As he mentioned in his Q race, he was here at the Nürburgring, trying overtaking everywhere just a couple of weeks ago in the real racing world. But absolutely, really, he was so looking forward to this event. Dries Van Tor from pole, then it's Risto Capet, Lasse Back. Yiffie are on the second row of the grid, then it's Monroe, Hillebrand, Rockenfeller, Hoyer, Moot and de Waal, as you can see. Level 2, about to get underway. Hold on to everything. This is going to be good.
Oh, sorry.
So Dries Van Tor with a very good start then, and 1 or 2 others right at the back of the pack, getting all out of shape and all squiffy then as we head in towards turn number 1. And the Nianco Esports car gets a real nerf from the back. So it's Risto Capet then, and Dries Van Tor P1 and P2. Liam de Waal is P3. Then it's Lasse Back and Yiffie and Monroe, and Hillebrand gets by Monroe. Then it's Moot and Rockenfeller and Mickey Hoyer. Boy, he's had some bad luck and it continues, but Risto Capet then doing a very, very good job here, and Liam de Waal is really pressuring Dries Van Tor into turn number 5. Dries Van Tor on the outside, Liam de Waal goes through. Dries Van Tor tries to come back here, this big battle over P2 then. Between the two of them, absolutely side by side, and it's exactly the same behind with Yiffie and Lasse Back. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Of course, it's all playing into the hands of Risto Capet, who's disappearing up the road. But the fight for P2 and the fight for P3 and 4 is intense and enormous. Absolutely loving this around the sprint circuit here at the Nürburgring. So, for the moment, Capet, don't need to worry about him. He's up the road. Then it is Liam de Waal and Dries van Tor. We're on board with Dries van Tor then as we run into turn number 1. Dries van Tor, will he try and get to the inside line? Liam de Waal may be a bit deep here. Dries van Tor tries to get alongside, but he's denied the opportunity for the esports team WRT, the car that we are watching right here. So this fight for P3, and there is Dries van Tor, a split shot here. You can see him on board and in his sim as well. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Come on, Dries, what can you do to take it to Liam de Waal around turn number 5 now?
Oh, no.
Just trying to line him up here. In the meantime, Yifi Yi and Last Step back. And then it's Mickey Hoyer, Esteban Mut, Hillebrand, Munro, and plumb last at the moment in P10 is Mike Rockenfeller. Unbelievably so. So Risto Capet then up the road. And here is Mike Rockenfeller battling really hard, and he always knew it was going to be a big, big ask. Of course, we're grateful to him for stepping into the breach at the very, very last minute. Covering for Patrick Niederhauser, injured, of course, in Sebring, and good old Mike, he was there to take the seat for Nianco Esports as they continue now for the final lap. It's now or never for Dries van Tor then. Gets the draft off the back. A bit of a lock up there from Liam de Waal. That could play into the hands of Dries van Tor, who tries to get alongside him. He's wedged out onto the grass, though. So Liam de Waal making the car just a little bit wider than it really is. And that may have been a defensive strategy that will have worked. Because Dries van Tor is going to find it very, very difficult now to find a way by Liam de Waal on the remainder of this lap. Absolutely fantastic, but a big mistake. Liam de Waal gets all out of shape and sideways. Dries van Tor was there, ready to take his opportunity. And you've got to be there to take advantage of it. And Liam de Waal could be under threat now from Yifi Yi. So the fight for this P3 place intensifies, but it's a different driver doing the chasing now. Yifi Yi, who is P4. Liam de Waal is P3 at the moment. Here is Risto Capet then, the leader of the race and leader by some 3.7 seconds. He rounds this turn, heads towards the start-finish line now. Risto Capet is going to be victorious. Indeed he is. He puts that in the book. Here comes Dries van Tor to take P2. Ahead of Liam de Waal, who just shaded it from Yifi Yi. Then it's Lasse back.
That was my fault, I'm sorry.
No.
Lights went out and my force feedback went off as well.
Mike Rockenfeller. Then it was Munro and Hillebrand.
Well, everyone, it's been enough. I want to thank you.
Any colourful language that we heard there, we apologise for. So cars then slowing down, but the top 10 then, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen in graphics, here comes confirmation of the result then in the last chance. Risto Capet, Dries van Tor, Liam de Waal, Yifi Yi, Lasse back.
We have lost
they are the top
but
5.
Nicky, maybe you talk to Dries.
And Mickey Hoyer out. Esteban Mut goes through to level 3. And Nicky Shields, that was very exciting.
That was very exciting indeed, and it's the end of the road in this championship now for 4 of the drivers. But let's have a quick catch up with Dries van Tor, who has secured himself into the next level. Dries, tell us, that was a pretty eventful race.
Yeah, it was. I saw a car coming up to turn 1 backwards, so I had to avoid that, unfortunately. Then it was some hard battling with Liam, some touching here and there, but everything was good at the end. So, yeah, happy to be through to the next round.
Excellent. Congratulations. Well done for pretty much staying out of trouble. And yeah, that means we're going into we have to say goodbye, of course, to those 4 drivers. But it does mean we go into a grid with the level 3 drivers. But actually, before we do move on to level 3, we actually want to remind you of our amazing car, the EX0.
No. We have another race, Nikki.
We have another race, of course. I'm jumping
Nicky
ahead of
Shields.
myself, aren't I?
You've been taking one of those fast lozenges once again. Which, if only I could get hold of some of those.
I'm
Yes.
just so
We
excited.
do.
I want to get to the grand final.
I understand that. I understand. We will be finding out more about the EX0 in due course, but in the meantime, of course, we do have another race to come, and one that I, for one, am really looking forward to. As I do every race at the Nürburgring, it doesn't fail to disappoint, and nor do any of our drivers
Sorry, I
that
made a
compete
mistake now, yeah.
in the
Of course, we
RCCO
have
World
level
EX
3,
Championship.
Then it's the EX0. Sorry, it's really my fault.
All along, Nicky was right, and we were wrong. Thomas,
can
our
tell
director,
that.
who's in my headphones, he got it wrong. So, Nicky, apologies, we are in your debt.
Oh, thanks, guys. You know, what can we say? Okay, so what we are going to do next is, first of all, we're going to get excited about our EX0 because that is obviously the world's fastest virtual electric racing car. We have loved watching it over the course of this season. And when we say in this championship that every lap counts in this series, well, it really does. So to explain a little bit more about racing for the climate, watch this.
The EX0 is the world's fastest virtual electric racing
Sorry
car,
for that.
created by Le Mans winner and DTM champion
couple of
Mike
troubles here,
Rockenfeller,
it
with the help
keeps
of
us a
technical partners from the real racing world. In theory, the car could become reality. Right now, the virtual version is exclusively available for the R-Factor 2 racing simulation. EX stands for Experimental Electric Prototype, 0 for zero emissions. With 1000 HP and 1000 kilograms, the EX0 has a power-to-weight ratio of 1:1, allowing lap times close to those of the latest LMP1 hybrids. The car accelerates from 0 to 200 kilometers per hour in just 4.6 seconds and is able to reach a top speed of approximately 384 kilometers per hour on the lowest drag configuration. It has 2 forward gears and 4-wheel drive with 2 electric engines, one at the front, one at the rear axle. The 85 kilowatt battery allows about 15 minutes of racing. Together with partners like Formula E and DTM champions at Sportsline, RCCO will keep the EX0 in line with the development of zero-emission drivetrains in the real world. In future, also allowing car brands to develop their own cars for the platform. And all this with a clear purpose, creating awareness for the climate crisis and collecting donations. Each lap completed in the RCCO World EX Championship increases the #Racing for the Climate jackpot, which will be devoted to a climate conservation project selected by the world champion at the end of the season. In the first 9 rounds, 1,271 laps have been completed, which adds up to a total of €12,710.
Right, okay, so that explains why every lap counts, because that is a jackpot that has been building up in the background, and it will go to, of course, chosen by our champion today. So we're looking forward to hearing where that money will go towards. Right, okay, now I think it is time to get level 3 underway. Let's do it.
This is level 3.
Dave, starting grid.
And here's the starting grid then for our Pro Level 3 quarterfinal. Terzig Visser and Bruno Senna side by side on row 1. Row 2 sees Henry Drury and Gordon Much. Then on row 3, it's Lasse Sorensen and Dries Van Tor. They go side by side on row 3. So the 6 drivers there, the first 6 drivers that we see, because we have row 4, Yifi Yi and Esteban Moot, the overtaker. And boy, is going to have to do some overtaking, isn't he? In this, and there the cars are lined up on the grid. Hold on to your hats because we are but 8 seconds away from the starting signal, and we will get this race underway. We are at the Nürburgring.
Good luck, everyone. Have fun.
Good luck.
Good luck. Should we have a repeat of the last chance?
Well, we've already seen just how determined Terzig Visser is, but Bruno Senna is just as determined as well as they all get off the line. Well, no skirmishes. However, Henry Drury looking very, very lively. right at the start of the race. And look at this, Henry Drury is able to pick them off potentially here and going around the outsiders sideways. Oh, and big contact there. And I'm pretty sure that was Beitski Visser that got the rough end of that. So it's now Drury leading from Lasse Sorensen, who just quietly, like a viper, was just waiting to see how everything played out. And Lasse Sorensen is really pursuing Henry Drury now. P1, P2, Drury, Sorensen, then it's Dries Vantor. We know how good Dries Vantor is. Gordon Much and Esteban Moot ahead of Yifi, Beitski Visser and Bruno Senna. That's the way it looks at the moment on this first lap of 3 in this level 3 race. And look at the slipstream Sorensen has got on Henry Drury. Now, it's going to be difficult to make it work into this chicane, but if Lasse Sorensen can hold on here, and to be fair, there was a little bit of a touch between the two of them, and look at Dries Vantor, talk about take advantage of others' misfortunes, he is through. So Dries Vantor into this P2 place. Lasse Sorensen will be utterly furious about that, and you can see, if he was painted on the back of that car, he couldn't be any closer. Into turn 1 they go for the second time of asking. We're on board with Lasse Sorensen, which is a brilliant place to watch this unfold, as Dries Vantor has got the lead of this race. It's P1 Vantor, P2 Sorensen, P3 Gordon Much. Now, none of these that you can take anything away from. So, as they run up towards turn number 5 now, Dries Vantor, who's raced a lot at the Nürburgring, he knows this place well, and he knows how difficult it is to overtake here, and he will use that to his advantage and stick his elbows out and try and prevent Lasse Sorensen, who we see on the right-hand side of the screen now. Look at the focus and concentration on Lasse Sorensen, of course, the most winningest driver in the RCCO World EX Championship, as he pursues Dries Vantor now. Then right, and around the final turn. So Dries Vantor about to start the final lap in this 3-lap level 3 race. It is Vantor from Sorensen, from Much, from Drury, from Visser, from Yi, from Moot. That's the way it looks at the moment. We've lost Bruno Senna. So Dries Vantor has one more lap to do of a big defensive driving against Lasse Sorensen. Now, Lasse Sorensen, whenever you put him into a racing car, of course, he wants to win, but so too does Dries Vantor. We can see him there working hard on this P1 position, but he looks as cool as a cucumber. This is Dries Vantor then for the esports team of WRT. Round turn 5 then, on board with Lasse Sorensen. So where can Sorensen potentially pick up a move here? Well, if he get a very good exit out of this turn, and he is able to pursue Vantor all the way to the chicane, he could have a last-ditch battle going into the chicane if he can get to the inside of Dries Vantor, but I think Dries Vantor has got enough of a gap. We know that Lasse Sorensen is good on the brakes, takes quite a bit of curbs, quite physical over those curbs, but Dries Vantor is around turn number 1 now. Lasse Sorensen gets as close as he can, but it's not going to be close enough as they head towards the line. It's Dries Vantor victorious from Lasse Sorensen. Gordon Much heading Henry Drury, Beitski Visser, Yifi, and Esteban Moot. Well done, Dries Vantor for esports team WRT.
I'm not sure if I turned it on you at the chicane last time. If I did.
I mean, it's hard to go side by side there anyways. So.
Yeah.
Lovely to listen to the comments between the drivers as well.
Can we get a four-way drift going through it?
Yeah.
I think you can. I've done it in a rental car more than once. That's got me into trouble. Right, through to level 4 go Dries Vantor, Lasse Sorensen, Gordon Much, Henry Drury, Beitski Visser and Yifi. Regrettably, we lose Esteban Moot, the overtaker, and Bruno Senna for Williams Esports. Here's Nikki.
Right, well, let's catch up with our winner of that round, Dries Vantor. Back winning races again. That's a relief.
Yeah, well, it's the first time I actually won a round, I think, this season, so I'm happy with that. No, it was a good race. Stayed out of trouble again, and yeah, on to the next one.
Well, this is the time to really make it count.
Exactly. So Hopefully I can make it into the final. I know Nordschleife quite well, but it's still a long, long way to go.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks very much, Dries. Well done.
Thank you.
Starting grid with Dave.
So here comes the starting grid for the esports level 3 quarter-final. Martin Stefanko goes from the front row alongside Alain Terzig. Luca Kita and Emily Jones. That's a formidable row too. And on row 3, we find the very determined Thomas Schmidt and the equally determined Risto Capet that will be going for it in this quarter-final race on the sprint circuit of the Nürburgring. Let's go to row 4 now, where we find going Liam de Waal up against Lasse Bach. That's the way it lines up then for this level 3 quarter-final. Drivers stand by.
I'm sorry. I'm used to iRacing. The end. I'm sorry.
So listening into the conversations that are going on and the drivers on their way to the starting grid for this esports level 3 race. A good shot here, as you can see the drivers as they're preparing. And if we think the anticipation is building here, just imagine what it's like for the likes of Martin Stefanko then, because of course they've got to do the performance out there on the track as well. So the same as the other level 3 races, with 3 laps on the sprint circuit of the Nürburgring. So what faces them? 3.629 kilometers. That's 11 turns, 7 to the right and 4 to the left. It's a really, really challenging circuit, one that we know and we love really, really well. Cars on the way to the grid then, and then we'll be able to get this level 3 esports race underway. Martin Stefanko, the driver that we are looking at the moment, and Martin Stefanko, of course, for Williams Esports. And as we saw in the feature just a few moments ago, the team headed up by Jost Capito. And Martin, I think, is just about ready. We'll wait the other drivers to make their way to the grid. And that's where we are right now, as you can see, here at the Nürburgring Sprint Circuit. Alain Terzig from Luca Kita. Martin Stefanko, though, of course, is going from pole position. He's put himself in a very, very good starting position. Where are we? Just a couple of seconds away from the starting klaxons to sound. On board then, and that wasn't such a good start from Martin Stefanko. I think Alain Terzig got the jump on him there. Just the anticipation of the klaxons and the lights, and as all heck is breaking out behind, Emily Jones looking good and then losing out to Luca Kita, then coming back at Luca Kita. Emily Jones driving in the WRT team. There's Alain Terzig. You can see he is still pushing very, very hard, despite the fact that he's got some 4/10 over Martin Stefanko already, and they're not even into turn number 5 yet. But that will not necessarily be enough, because Martin Stefanko is coming back here, as you can see. So it is Terzig from Stefanko, from Kita, from de Waal, from Jones, from Capet, from Bach, and then from Schmidt. So Martin Stefanko, cool as a cucumber then, just runs out onto the gravel there, takes a little bit of that gravel. However, he is still pursuing Alain Terzig. Is he going to be king of the late breakers? Dive to the inside here into the chicane. Not quite close enough. Taking plenty of curb. On board the EX0, which of course we already know is the most excellent racing car, having been designed with four-wheel drive and awesome power, and taming the beast, as it were, is not easy. But Martin Stefanko really reeling Alain Terzig in now. He tries to get to the inside at turn number 1. Discretion being the better part of valor here. Terzig making a very, very good exit from turn number 1. It's seen 100 times people get it wrong at turn number 1. Alain Terzig got it absolutely spot on correct. And that has denied Martin Stefanko. And Luca Kita is coming into the battle now, as is Liam de Waal. And very soon it's going to be a 4-way fight for P1. We are on lap 2 of 3 of this level 3 race. And once again, we go on board with Martin Stefanko then chasing down Alain Terzig. There is literally only 3 or 4 tenths between the two of them, but Alain Terzig seems to have got it all absolutely nailed perfectly. Now, Stefanko will try and get in the draft, and use it along this start-finish straight with the kink in the middle, which is turn number 8. And is he looking at the inside line? Well, he just showed his face to Alan Terzig, but Terzig is not distracted for even a millisecond, which means around the final turn, turn number 11, this man, Alan Terzig, is leading the way. Is Alan Terzig going to be able to hold it on for another lap? Looks as cool as a cucumber. Martin Stefanko, once again, he's just got so much momentum. Dives to the inside, but he could be too deep into the turn. Sure enough, he is. Alan Terzig is able to get underneath once again. And it was just very cool and collected driving from Alan Terzig. He could see the approach coming from Martin Stefanko and knew that he would end up being too deep into the turn. And therefore, he worried little, just kept control, rotated the car nicely. And Alan Terzig remains in this P1 position. But here comes Stefanko again into turn number 5. Still nothing doing. Alan Terzig, it's the coolest drive I've seen from him. He has just so good at collected, and he's not being pressured at all by Martin Stefanko, who of course is having to do all the hard work and try and find a way by. He's closer down the back straight than he has been at all in this level 3 race. So they go side by side into the chicane. Now Alan Terzig is not able to make the turn. Shortcuts the chicane. Race control will look at that. And Martin Stefanko then with the drag race over the line. Well, Alan Terzig doing exactly the right thing there.
That was a nice battle.
Yeah, I was. I should have just sent it on at the start of the second lap, to be honest, because I was like way too cautious. But yeah, very good battle.
Martin Stefanko P1, Alan Terzig P2. Then it's Liam Duvall, Emily Jones, Risto Capit, then Lasser back. So. Right at the end then, and you can see just how easy it is to get it wrong going into various parts of the Nürburgring Sprint Circuit. Here's confirmation of those that go through to level 4. They are Martin Stefanko, Alan Terzig, Liam Duvall, Emily Jones, Risto Capit and Lasser back. With great regret, we lose Thomas Schmidt and Luca Kita.
Well, Martin Stefanko there really putting in an excellent job. And of course, with Bruno Senna out, he is kind of Williams' only hope to compete against TK9 for the team's championship. Let's have a quick word with Martin Stefanko and see how he's feeling. Martin, I thought I was going to be saying congratulations to Alan Terzig, but you managed to take it there just in the last couple of seconds.
Yeah, obviously he went very wide at the chicane, so yeah, obviously he had to give the position back. So yeah, happy to take the win. You know, most of my practice has been on Nordschleife and not the GP circuit, so to still have good pace here is pretty good. But the confidence that I have at Nordschleife is probably bigger than at any other event this year. So I'm really hoping I can take the championship. I think I have a really good shot at it. So yeah, I'm very confident and looking forward to the next races.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Sorry, I'm having a small coughing fit here. That's the only problem, not having any water nearby. But thank you very much, Martin Stefanko. Well, let's crack on with the show and head into the next round.
Absolutely. The next race is level 3 esports. Of course, poor Nikki. Are you okay now?
I think it just about, yeah. Thank you.
Poor thing. Right.
So we have the intro for Reach the Next Level film, because we had already the esport race.
Okay, so now I've managed to gather my thoughts again, got over my coughing fit. Right, we have now down to, so we've done level 4. We're down to just 6 drivers who are going to be fighting it into level 5 to get into today's super final. But before we do that, we have a very special film about a very special person. And we've talked with Formula 1 driver Heinz Harald Frentzen.
No, we are at level 3.
Okay, right. It's really good when no one in your ear tells you what's going on, doesn't it? Right. Okay. So why don't you tell me what's coming up next, and I'll make sure we go to the right thing.
Reach the Next Level film.
All right. Okay. So we're going to a film called Reach the Next Level. Now, as you know, lots of our drivers are trying to reach the next level in our races. And also lots of very clever people around the world are trying to reach the next level in clever and clean mobility. So let's find out more. Just help me. Give me the direction.
Former World Rally driver Hayden Paddon has been working on an all-electric rally car for the past 2 years in his home country, New Zealand. The Kiwi chose a hill climb on a 4-kilometre gravel course for the competitive debut of his Hyundai Kona EV. The electric rally car thrilled the fans with its speed and its unique sound, which is created by a mechanical sound device which produces a noise for safety reasons on the rally stages, but also creates the vibe and sounds spectators love. Paddon wrote motorsport history by taking the overall victory in the event, setting by far the fastest time of all competitors. Envision Virgin Racing has unveiled its new livery for Season 8 of the FIA Formula E World Championship at the COP26 in Glasgow. The new design was inspired by the team's vision to accelerate the global transition to electric vehicles and renewable energy and its Race Against Climate Change campaign. The team also launched the world's first electric 2-seater race car in Glasgow and created a scale replica Gen 2 Formula E car from recycled consumer waste. A British company has announced the creation of the e-bike Grand Prix series with Dubai confirmed as the first host city. EBKGP is a new international cycling sport showcasing groundbreaking e-bike technology whilst working with global host cities to raise awareness of climate change challenges, seeking to mobilize citizens and promote cleaner, greener, healthier cities. Schaeffler has received the Golden Steering Wheel Award for its 2-in-1 electric axle system. Offered by German car magazine Auto Bild and national newspaper Bild am Sonntag, the award is one of Europe's most coveted auto industry prizes. Schaeffler's integrated axle system went up against a quality lineup of competitors to come out on top in the Innovation of the Year category. Schaeffler has a long history in electric mobility, also from successfully competing in Formula E. Taiwanese electronics giant Foxconn, best known for manufacturing electronic devices for Apple and other tech brands, is entering the car business. The company has presented its first 3 electric vehicles under the new Foxtron brand: a Model C compact, a Model T urban bus, and the Model E sedan. Jointly developed with Pininfarina, Foxconn aims to become a major player in the global EV market, also by supplying its EV platforms to customers. French engineering company Gaussin has developed an electric racing truck powered by a hydrogen fuel cell that will compete in the 2022 Dakar Rally. The truck combines 2 electric engines for a total power of 600 kilowatts. It has a 380 kilowatt fuel cell plus an 82 kilowatt hour battery. A team of 22 enthusiastic and ambitious students from the Eindhoven University have developed a self-sustaining mobile home which generates its energy through solar panels on the roof. The Stella Vita is independent of charging stations. Solar Team Eindhoven has started a tour through Europe to showcase its stunning concept. Up next then it is the starting grid for Level 4, the semi-final, with Dries van Toor up against Lasse Sorensen. These are the pro drivers. Gordon Mutch and Henry Drury are on row 2 of the grid. Then we find Beitske Wiese and Yifi Yi on the 3rd row. So those are the first 6 drivers that we will see in the Level 4 semi-final. Dries van Toor, Lasse Sorensen, Gordon Mutch, Henry Drury, Beitske Wiese, and Yifi Yi. Very much looking forward to this race, and here is Dries van Toor. So, with but 8 seconds to go, Dries van Toor, Lasse Sorensen on the front row, Mutch and Drury on the 2nd row, Wiese and Yi on the 3rd row of the grid. Was momentarily concerned there with that onboard camera that Dries van Toor was going to miss the start of the race. Lasse Sorensen, has he been able to keep Dries van Toor, or catch Dries van Toor napping Well, Dries Van Toor through. Lasse Sorensen, though, through to P1. So Lasse Sorensen leading from Dries Van Toor. Then it's Gordon Much and Henry Drury having a real battle for the P3 place. And Yivi and Beitski Visser are P5 and P6 respectively. So let's go on board with Dries Van Toor now. He's got to do the chasing. He was in pole position, of course, but just felt he wasn't full of concentration right at the start of the race, and Lasse Sorensen was able to take advantage. So Sorensen is P1. Dries Van Toor is doing the chasing now. Gordon Much, he's trying to do the chasing, but of course he's defending from Henry Drury, who is in P4. So Lasse Sorensen, once he has got his nose in front, we know how formidable he is and very unlikely to be shaken. But Drury was on the inside of Much going into the chicane, and I think Drury has gone through. No, Much is back again. It's a real ding-dong fight going on there because Yivi is trying to buy into that battle for P3 as well. Meantime, we stay on board with Dries Van Toor then, who brings the gap down just a little bit to Lasse Sorensen as they head in towards turn number 1. Lasse Sorensen really drifting the car into turn number 1, but controlling it beautifully. But then you can see him get a bit sideways as well in turn number 2. Dries Van Toor was not able to take advantage of that, but he is all over the back of Lasse Sorensen now. So on the run up towards turn number 5 now, blast the throttle for just a couple of seconds or so before you're braking for this downhill right-hander. The car is naturally pulled almost to the outside of that, and there is the concentrating face of the TK9 E-Speed driver Lasse Sorensen, who again is getting very, very sideways, just drifting this beautifully. It's reminiscent of the lap that Mike Rockenfeller showed us right at the start of the program.
I can brake a bit too late into turn 1 if you want.
Would be lovely, you know.
So Dries Van Toor then trying to encourage Lasse Sorensen to offer him some support and some help here. So
how many is
here is Dries Van Toor.
I think 4.
It's 3.
So to the inside of Lasse Sorensen, no. So here is Dries. And we are on the third lap of 3 in this level 4 race. With Dries Van Toor fighting Lasse Sorensen, Gordon Much and Henry Drury are P3 and P4. Then it's Beitski Visser and Yifi. So into turn number 5 then, and Lasse Sorensen got it all sewn up nicely, and Dries Van Toor having to do the chasing here. He's getting closer now though, takes a lot of speed into the left-hander and into the right as well. But look at the traction that Lasse Sorensen has off that turn through turn 8, the kink then.
Make a quick slip up whatever you're going.
And king of the late breakers, definitely so, because Dries Van Toor really narrows the gap. Gets a good turn out of the chicane, but it's not going to be enough in my opinion here. Lasse Sorensen is going to have done it.
Yeah, well, I'm just happy I'm through it.
Yeah. Good race.
So across the line it is Lasse Sorensen by 4.5 tenths over Dries Van Toor. Then it's Gordon Much and Henry Drury, Beitski Visser and Yifi. The first of our level 4 races done and dusted with Lasse Sorensen. One very, very good driver. No question about that. Very shortly, we will get the classification on screen as confirmed by race control, which is pretty critical and important, you know. And that will be confirmation that going through is Lasse Sorensen, Dries Van Toor, Gordon Much there through to level 5. Unfortunately, we lose Henry Drury, Beitski Visser and Yifi, and I suspect Nikki Shields will be talking to Lasse Sorensen.
Absolutely. Again, I feel like I've done a lot of interviews with Lasse Sorensen over the course of this championship. Lasse, congratulations on another win at level 4.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a good win, good start, and then just trying to manage the gap from there. So that's perfect.
Are you thinking about the grand finale?
Well, yeah, you have to. I guess it's a big part of the championship. So all eyes on the big final.
All right. Well, keep me cool, and we'll catch up with you later. Thanks very much, Lasse Sorensen.
Thank you.
Next is the starting grid.
Here comes the starting grid then for our next semi-final. Esports drivers Martin Stefanko and Alan Terzig are on the first row of the grid. Then it's Liam de Waal and Emily Jones ahead of Risto Capet and Lasse Bak. Those are the 6 drivers that will contest this starting grid for level 4, the semi-final here at the Nürburgring. Of course, all eyes and all focus on the grand finale to come at the Nordschleife a little bit later on this evening. We're delighted that you're with us and delighted and hope that you're enjoying the racing as much as we are. And these 6 drivers are going to put on a great show for us, have no doubt whatsoever. The 3 rows of fine esports racers contesting this RCCO World EX Championship. Martin Stefanko going from pole position. Alan Terzig from P2 on the grid. That's the front row. And it is just 2 seconds now from the klaxons. So Alan Terzig with good traction off the start, but Martin Stefanko also so. He's got the inside line. Now Liam de Waal could have the big advantage here as they go almost 3 abreast into turn number 1. But look at that great move from Alan Terzig onto the inside of Martin Stefanko, and Liam de Waal is trying to come through as well. And dismiss Emily Jones at your peril. Let's go on board here then with Martin Stefanko. Chasing down Alan Terzig then, and we know that once Alan Terzig has got his nose in front, then he is going to be a very difficult individual to get by. However, we do know that Martin Stefanko has been able to push Alan Terzig into making a mistake. We saw it just a couple of races ago. So will Martin Stefanko choose the same strategy on this occasion? He's really reeling Alan Terzig in now. So Terzig brakes. He is able to make the chicane on this occasion. However, Emily Jones is not able to and shortcuts the chicane, and she goes through on the inside of Risto Capet and then allows the places to be taken back. So good, fair racing from Emily Jones. Mike Rockenfeller in the pit lane, as you can see. I think those graphics are actually wrong. Mike Rockefeller shouldn't be in this race and indeed wasn't on the grid. Now, as you can see, Terzig went deep, playing into the hands of Martin Stefanko, who has gone through and picked up that P1 place. And here comes Alan Terzig fighting back now. So big battle over this P1. We're on the second lap of 3 in this level 4 sprint on the Nürburgring Sprint Circuit. And Alan Terzig could not be closer to Martin Stefanko if he was welded to the back of the car. So Stefanko knows he's going to have to stick his elbows out and make the car really wide to prevent Alan Terzig from wrestling back that P1 position. There is Alan Terzig, right-hand side of your screen, and on the left-hand side of the screen, you're in the cockpit with him. You can almost see the force with which he was using to bring the car down in terms of speed by putting every piece of energy and every sinew through the braking pedal. So Stefanko then rounds the final turn and will start the final lap in P1. So all the cars across the start-finish line into turn 1 for the final time of asking. It's now or never for Alan Terzig to wrestle away the lead back again from Martin Stefanko. Liam de Waal steadfast in P3. Risto Capet with nothing to take to him. Then it's Lasse Bak, and then it is Jones running in P6 at the moment. But the esports team WRT driver Emily Jones, who is just a second and a half down on Lasse Bak at the moment. Let's focus on this, though, the fight for the P1 position, the win, which Martin Stefanko at the moment is being able to gap Alan Terzig a little bit. Equally, Terzig is gapping Liam de Waal. So for the final time of asking in this level 4 race, we go to the back of the track, behind the paddock area, and in towards the chicane now. Hard on the brakes again is Alan Terzig, but he makes the chicane with no problems whatsoever. But unfortunately for him, Martin Stefanko made the chicane about 6/10 quicker than Alan Terzig. That's the gap as they head towards the line now. It's Martin Stefanko victorious over Alan Terzig, P2. Then it's Liam de Waal, Risto Capet. Then it's Lasse Bak and Emily Jones. Rather thought there would be more animated conversation between the drivers at the end of that, but there isn't, so we await the graphics to come up and give us confirmation of the result from race control. Don't think there was anything to contest there. Sure enough, Martin Stefanko and Alan Terzig, P1 and P2. Liam Tavall taking
no
P3.
For Stefanko, so no
we
interview, so
regret
we,
we lose Risto Capit, Lasse
the
Back,
video from
and
Nikki.
Emily Jones. So there we have it. That's that race done. Let's go back to Nikki Jones now. Nikki Jones, what the heck am I talking about? I've gotten you muddled up with Emily, aren't I? So back to Nikki Shields now, who I think we've got another film to see.
I quite
Let
like
me
that,
out.
Nikki Jones. It's got a nice ring to it. Well, my coughing fit is over, so that's good news as well. But what a great level for battle. Absolutely brilliant to see, and I can't believe it. We are now down to just 6 drivers who are going to be fighting it out in level 5 to get into today's super final. But before we get on to that race, we have a very special film that I mentioned earlier. It is about a very special person. We've actually managed to talk with former Formula One driver Heinz Harald Frentzen, who was transformed from a petrol head into a bit of a Volt head. Yes, he's gone fully electric. Let's find out more.
Started in go-kart racing in 1980. I was 12 years old, and in those times I didn't really care about sustainable energy or climate change. It was very important really for me to enjoy and win races. Well, in our days in Formula One, it was more important to show good races, to show excitement, to show action, and we did deliver a lot of nice races in the past. And these days, climate was not an issue at all. We just were pure racing. We were presenting always good shows in motorsport, but even though we were losing sponsorships which we needed was going into more environmentally friendly sports. Even soccer, tennis or golf or whatsoever, away from combustion engines. And it was hurting us. Carrying all these thoughts over the past, the challenges of our motorsport, our loved motorsport, that we were really always fighting against environmentally friendly people, like we were making a lot of noise, we were making pollutions, and we had to justify all our sport all the time in our life, And I was carrying on all these thoughts to think, what can we do in motorsport to improve things? What can we do to make motorsport more environmentally friendly? And then I had the idea to build an environmentally friendly racing car. And that was, technology-wise, a electric hybrid, with combustion engine, but half electric. A project which we show that we can really gain a lot of efficiency and gain sustainable energy during racing. Since 2008, when I raced my own hybrid car, since then I'm really much addicted into this technology. Hybrid technology, electric engine technology, batteries, and since then I'm fully electric. I learned a lot about how battery works, how does an electric motor works, and I since then started to be very interested in this kind of technology. And here, many years later, we are living now in a house where we have full of sustainable energy. We have solar panels on the roof. We have a battery pack in the cellar to store the oversupply energy. And in the meantime, now after several years, we managed to be 95% efficient in terms of using their own energy. And this is nothing more exciting than producing your own energy for your car. This is so makes me so proud that energy management is so easy. With my background about electric cars, electric racing cars or electric hybrid cars, I then decided to buy my first Tesla in 2014, and since ever then I drive a Tesla. I have to say I would not buy anything else anymore. Anything else meaning of no combustion cars at the moment. Well, after all my work I did in 2008 with my first hybrid car, it only becomes for me more and more important to be environmentally friendly, to think about the future, to think about our children, to have just a better world. And I think racing for the climate is a good thing.
Let's move on to level 5, the final. And here is the starting grid for level 5, the final. Isn't it great to hear from Heinz-Harald Frentzen? Lasse Sørensen then on the front row of the grid with Martin Stefanko. Then we find Dries Vanthoor and Alain Terzig together on row 2. And on row 3 of the grid, it is Gordon Much and Liam de Vol. So Lasse Sørensen, pole position, Martin Stefanko alongside him. Boy, that's a scintillating prospect as we're about to go racing. This is level 5, and this is Lasse Sørensen.
There are 4 drivers who could make it to the super final and still qualify for the championship race.
So with the opportunity for 4 drivers still to make it through, potentially.
Good luck, guys.
Let's hear the radio from all the drivers, all very good-humoured and very polite. And this is the view from the car of Lasse Sørensen, our pole sitter. He'll be awaiting the lights out. And off we go then. Well, Alain Terzig looking very, very determined into turn number 1. Bear in mind, from his starting position, he is already up to P3 and fighting with Dries Vanthoor, the eSport WRT team driver. A little bit of panel rubbing between the two of them, which of course is just playing nicely into the hands of Lasse Sørensen, who's able to escape up the road. There's strife for Dries Vanthoor, who now finds he's right at the back of the pack behind Liam de Vol as Lasse Sørensen maintains a margin of some 8 tenths over Alain Terzig and Martin Stefanko. Then it's Gordon Much, Liam de Vol and Dries Vanthoor, who's right at the back of the pack now and has got a lot of work to do in the 3 laps or 2.5 laps that remain now, as Lasse Sørensen even has time to just take a look at the margin he has, which is now 9 tenths. As Alain Terzig continues to do the chasing, but Alain Terzig's under a bit of pressure here from Martin Stefanko. So the P2 position then, which is where Alain Terzig is right now, and we're on board with him as we put the first lap in the book of this level 5 race. What can Stefanko do? Well, he's not quite close enough to take a look at the inside. This is Alain Terzig, well, that was Alain Terzig, hard at work in that P2 placed car at the moment, and he's narrowing the gap to Lasse Sørensen when in very technical parts of this circuit. So Alain Terzig.
P2 enough for Terzig, his best esport racer.
Now, if P2 is where Alain Terzig stays, that would be enough for him because he would be the best esports racer. But Martin Stefanko has got different ideas here. But Martin Stefanko needs to get the hurry up because we are running out of time. Because at the end of this lap, there will be just one more lap to do. So Lasse Sørensen leads from Alain Terzig and Martin Stefanko. The big battle is between these two esports drivers for P2 because Alain Terzig now are really, really closing in on Lasse Sørensen, but it matters not because he needs to keep his eye on the rearview mirror because Martin Stefanko, whom we're on board with right now, is chasing and chasing blooming hard. So what can Martin Stefanko do? He's got a lap to do it in. We split the screen. You can see him hard at work on the right-hand side of your picture, and on the left-hand side, that's the what it looks like through the windshield of this EX0 car. Oh, and it's a big, big sideways moment for Alain Terzig. But it was a huge recovery from him as well, and Martin Stefanko wasn't quite close enough to be able to take advantage Was that the biggest gift that he could have been given but wasn't able to unwrap it? Because Alan Terzig remains in that P2 position, and Martin Stefanko, despite his valiant effort, when an opportunity was presented to him by a very sideways Alan Terzig, well, Martin Stefanko was not able to take advantage. I do not think that he will be gifted that opportunity again. We're on to the final run really now. So down the straight behind the paddock here at the Nürburgring, Martin Stefanko just takes a look at the inside. He's hoping that Alan Terzig will make a mistake. There's a mistake from both on the big understeer from Martin Stefanko, but I think Alan Terzig has done enough here. Now Stefanko tries to look around the outside, but he's not going to be able to do it. Sorensen takes the checkered flag. Alan Terzig takes P2, and
if there is anyone who deserves to have a chance to fight for the championship, then it's you, my friend.
Thank you.
Oh, what about that? What a lovely gesture. That was such a lovely gesture. Alan Terzig then, by my mathematics, rudimentary as they are, I think he has done enough to go through by taking P2. This is Lasse Sorensen, though, who from the very start of this RCCO World EX Championship has proven his worth. So Lasse Sorensen and Alan Terzig go through to level 6. We lose Martin Stefanko, Gordon Much, Liam DeVol and Dries Van Tor.
Nikki with interview, please.
Once again, congratulations into the final. There was a brilliant battle going on behind you between Alan Terzig and Martin Stefanko, and it looks like Alan Terzig is finally coming up against you in the final race. Now, I mean, Alan, he's had a bit of bad luck, but he's been such a strong driver over the course of this championship, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of those guys who deserve to be in the super final. I mean, he has been fast all season, and he has just been unlucky in all races pretty much. So I hope to give him a good battle now, and yeah, let's see who wins.
I think this is going to be one of the highlights. This is going to be a really good battle to see you and Alan Terzig go head-to-head against each other. So I'm just going to say good luck for the final.
Can we do a quick one with Mike, because
thank you very much.
Race control is not yet ready.
Let's have a quick chat with Mike and get his thoughts on what's been going on. Mike, so the final. Alan Terzig, who obviously if he wins in the final, he then secures himself a position in the grand finale. So there is so much to play for here.
Yes, it definitely is. But I have to say, this track, it looks like the one lap races so far have been, basically after the start decided most of the time. So I think he really, really needs to make sure he wins the start, and then he has a good chance to make it. As Lasse is already in, I really hope for Alan, of course, to have another one qualified. But let's see. I think Lasse doesn't make it too easy.
But, again, Lasse Sorensen, his performance just continues to impress. There is no end to his talents.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have to say this guy is unbelievable how he does it, because I know how difficult it is to drive the car, and he really has it under control. So let's see what they can do. Let's hope for a great race now, and an even better one on the Nordschleife.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely one of the most consistent drivers in this championship, that's for sure. Right, okay, let's get excited. It is almost time for level 6. Dave, over to you.
Get excited. I'm already there.
Alan, I'm quite cheap for this round. $100 and I'm going to let you win this.
I'll try to win myself.
Good race, man.
Right.
Good race.
Good luck to both drivers, Lasse Sorensen, Alan Terzig. We already know what the price is, Alan.
Oh.
Well, the price is a brilliant start. He just gets the edge over Lasse Sorensen. So as they go into turn number 1, it's Sorensen with first blood, but Alan Terzig very nearly to the inside line. Now, as Mike Rockenfeller indicated, Lasse Sorensen's not going to make it easy for Alan Terzig, and sure enough, he isn't, because Lasse Sorensen is leading from Alan Terzig. This is the one-lap shootout in level 6. And at the moment, it's Lasse Sorensen that's got everything together. So around the sprint circuit at the Nürburgring, it's the pro driver versus the esports racer. It's Lasse Sorensen up against Alan Terzig. And you can see just how hard Alan Terzig wants this, how much he wants this. Lasse Sorensen kicks up a bit of dust. Has that unsettled the TK9 E-Speed driver? Well, you wouldn't have said so. Alan Terzig has got to go all for it now. Full chat flat. I don't know whether he put as much braking force into that as I thought he would. So Lasse Sorensen now into the final turn. And here comes Alan Terzig. It's the final roll of the dice, and Lasse Sorensen has done it. He's across the line, P1. Alan Terzig, P2. So Sorensen's dominance continues. Absolutely extraordinary driver.
Wow, Lasse Sorensen, congratulations. I mean, Alan Terzig, I actually thought he might have had you at turn one because he had a really good start. But once again, you showed that you are the quickest driver in this championship. Congratulations. What a win.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I think it's a bit easier down to turn one when you have the inside. I mean, it's pretty hard to do anything from the outside if the inside guy doesn't do a mistake. So, but anyway, I'm super happy for the win again now. Finally to prove also in the end of the season that I can win. So, yeah, let's keep grinding.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. You're going out on a, well, you're not going out on a high yet. There is still one rather important race left to go. But huge congratulations to Lasse Sorensen there for today's win. There we are. We can get a bit of celebrating. Yeah, you have to get the champagne out. But the biggest fight, of course, is still to come. Now, we can, at this point, I believe, also announce the World EX Teams Championship.
Yes, it's TK9, of course. Yep.
Now, obviously, after that fourth win for the team, absolutely unstoppable. Huge congratulations to TK9 eSpeed, Tom Christiansen's team, who, started out in this championship not knowing what the team would be capable of, but with Lasse Sorensen fighting every time, it's a win for them. So huge congratulations. They are the World EX Teams Champion. And there we go. Look how good that car is. I love that livery as well. You know, the red and white looking good there. So congratulations to TK9 eSpeed. 4 wins out of 10. That is a pretty good run, isn't it? So this is it.
We can show now the other finalists.
We are now going to move on to the most famous race to decide the first Drivers' World Champion. But let's take a look at who the other finalists are going to be lining up next to Lasse Sorensen.
Is ready for the racer.
Are we not doing the...
Or we can also show the track presentation, because I think we need time.
Okay, so we're not showing the championship contenders climate project. Are we doing the climate project? Well, there we have it. They are the drivers who are going in to the grand finale today. Now, It is one of the most famous tracks in the world. Of course, today the drivers are going to be racing at the Nordschleife. But let's get to know this track a little bit better with a track guide.
The highlight of our championship will be the super final. It's a 2-lap race at the Nürburgring Nordschleife with our EX0. We will find out who will be the champion, and I think the best is to go on board to show you how it is with our 1000 horsepower beast, electric beast around this track. And that's why we go on board now. We're on start finish. I think on the Grand Prix track
so we
I
have
can talk
7
a bit
minutes
more
because it took quite a time for Mike to go around the Nordschleife.
just a bit easier, let's say. Turn 1 very tight, and now we go straight into turn 2.
Games are still loading in the Nordschleife. It takes unfortunately it takes a lot of time.
And here we go downhill. Bank
Okay, I cannot hear you
corner.
because you would be on air.
Right-hander. Can lean nicely on the exit curb. Now we go down to Dunlop. You can V-style this one. Maybe a bit too much here. Early on power up the hill towards Schumacher S. Nice left-right combination. Now we are braking for bit corner. Right-hander here. Going downhill, and we can see already on the left-hand side, let's say part of the Nordschleife where the forest is. Last chicane here. And now we are heading onto the Nordschleife. Here we go, very bumpy on the braking, and you can see already the difference. Just a little bit of grass next to the line, and then you have the guardrails straight away, so you can imagine every mistake here usually ends up in tears. We are in Hatzenbach right now. Nice combination. We are heading towards Flugplatz, very famous part of the track. Going uphill, you just see the sky in the car, and then up here, quick right-hander. Heading towards Schwedenkreuz. We're doing 350 almost. This one is just flat. And then now we are going downhill into a compression. It's called Fuchsröhre. It's completely flat out, and then up again. Quick left-hander. This is called Adenauer Forst, I believe. And then now you have a little bit of a almost straightaway. Metzgesfeld 1, it's a quick left-hander, and 2, it's a bit more tight. Little crest here. Nice banking. And then this one is tricky, left, right, and now we are in like a double or triple right actually. Braking for Wehrseifen. It's the slowest part of the track, slowest corner. Going towards Breitscheid. We're actually going over a bridge here, underneath is a normal road. Exmühle. Up the hill, heading towards Niki Lauda corner, where he had his violent accident back in the day in Formula 1. Braking. Bergwerk. Now we go up the hill, all the way flat out. Can relax a bit, breathe a bit. for, again, 340 we are doing here up the hill before we go to Mutkurve. It's a quick left, and here's a very fast right. This is called Carousel. It's like a roller coaster. A lot of banking, very bumpy. And now this is almost flat. This is the highest part, the highest altitude of the track. It's called Hohe Acht. And then we go down again to Wippermann. Use a bit of curb here. Now we go to Brünchen. Here you have a lot of fans usually. During the 24 you can smell all the barbecue at night around the track in the car. This left-hander here it's very slippery usually. And again over a crest, and now we are heading towards Pflanzgarten 1. It's a jump actually, a little bit of a jump, and then Pflanzgarten 2. Again the car gets really light. Small mistake here. Should have been more on the left. Now we are at Guldenkov. It's the last corner before we are on the very long straight called Döttinger Höhe. Now you can relax. Now you did almost the full lap. You can talk to your crew in the real car, give some feedback about the tires and everything, and yeah, like I said, just breathe, and we are going back towards the pit lane, let's say, or the pits and the Grand Prix track. Down here, Tiergarten, very quick, flat out section, and then slowing down for this tight last chicane. And now we are back on start finish, and that was a lap here at the Nordschleife with our EX0. I hope you enjoyed it.
Very much did, Mike Rockenfeller. How do you remember all the corner names? This is the starting grid for level 1, the finale. Lasse Sorensen alongside is Martin Stefanko. Then we find on row 2 of the grid it's Risto Capit and Philippe Dennis. Luca Kita and Bruno Senna are on the 3rd row of the grid. For this, level 1, the finale, the Nordschleife awaits, and what a circuit to await. As we continue our look through the grid, of course, we must not forget about row 4, which contains the pro driver Nicholas Hillebrand. Everyone is about to go on perhaps the most famous circuit in the world. In this, the RCCO World EX Championship, and that is our pole sitter Lasse Sorensen. So, does he know it as well as Mike Rockenfeller? I've had the privilege of being round the Nordschleife perhaps twice, and every time it just fills and fills and fills with adrenaline. It is such an extraordinary circuit.
Probably. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
Good luck.
So the cars beginning to line up on the grid then. Lasse Sorensen, Martin Stefanko, Risto Capit, Philippe Dennis, Luca Kita, and Bruno Senna then, along with Nicholas Hillebrand. So this is the man that has been extraordinarily successful, Lasse Sorensen. And here we go then, 2 laps, as you can see every driver trying to get that inside line, and Martin Stefanko denied the inside line by Lasse Sorensen. Of course, we start the 2 laps on the Grand Prix circuit here at the Nürburgring before we can really stretch the legs of these EX0 cars on the Nordschleife, as illustrated by Mike Rockefeller just a few seconds ago. It's all counted towards this. This is the final showdown. And Lasse Sørensen, who has shown so much dominance during the course of this season, this inaugural season of the brilliant Racing for the Climate RCCO World EX Championship, he is under pressure from Martin Stefanko. It's a long lap, and we have 2 of them. We are going to be on the Nordschleife. And you can see that P1 at the moment is with Lasse Sørensen, then it's P2, Martin Stefanko, Risto Capit, Luca Kita, Philippe Dennis, Bruno Senna, Nicholas Hillebrand. We all know that it's a very, very long lap, and therefore the race is, and the grand finale is not won in the first few meters. So into the chicane comes Lasse Sørensen, followed by this man that we're on board with now, Martin Stefanko. Now, instead of turning right, we turn left and enter the Nordschleife. Let's go for this then, as Lasse Sørensen drifts and drifts. And onto the Nordschleife we go. The bit that I find so fascinating is where the fans have made their mark on so much of this tarmac, so lovingly recreated in the RCCO World EX Championship, with Lasse Sørensen leading the way from Martin Stefanko, Risto Capit, Luca Kita, Philippe Dennis, Bruno Senna and Nicholas Hillebrand. So running downhill now and trying to hold on to these cars in the Eifel region of Germany, where this famed circuit but is a difficult one to tame and a difficult one to get the best out of. For the first time of asking, here comes Martin Stefanko on Lasse Sørensen, and Risto Capit's trying to have a go as well. Risto Capit also having to defend from Luca Kita. So we're on board with Martin Stefanko. The curbs are so high here. You have to be so careful. Take too much curb and you're going to be in all sorts of strife. It's an up and down through the Eifel region, that's for sure. The elevation changes are enormous. As Mike was saying on our inaugural lap as he previewed this Nordschleife for us, some parts of this circuit are so high, and of course the spectators line the banks and love the action that they see. So where can Stefanko pull a move on Lasse Sørensen? Sørensen, for my money, looks really comfortable here. Of course, all these drivers just relishing the opportunity to be on the Nordschleife, and they're also evenly matched. Particularly the first 3 places, just 9/10 between them. In fact, it could be a 4-way fight for P1 at the moment, but Lasse Sørensen's got it all together, and at the moment he's leading Martin Stefanko by some 3/10, but that's down to 2/10 then as they round that turn. So into the left-hander here. And the thing is that here at the Nordschleife, it just winds its way through the region, and the closest I've got to competing on this is having 2 passenger rides around the Nordschleife, and also staying in nearly every hotel that you can, where you get sight of the track. Also, this is Lasse Sørensen, who we get sight of now, and you can see just how hard he's concentrating ahead of Martin Stefanko P1 and Risto Capit P3, with Luca Kita P4. And Luca Kita really going for a move on Risto Capit behind that we could see. Meantime, we have to keep our eyes on this battle, because whatever Lasse Sørensen is doing here, he's not breaking away from Martin Stefanko. So Stefanko's doing a really good job of tracking him here. Now, has Martin Stefanko got a trick up his sleeve as to where it's going to be best for him to try and have a go and wrestle this lead away from Lasse Sørensen? Carousel. It is so much of a roller coaster, this extraordinary Nordschleife, with so much heritage, so much history. And it's at this point where you're running uphill, and you can see how high those curbs are, and to keep off of those curbs, you've got to be millimetrically perfect with every input into the steering wheel. And you can see Lasse Sørensen's beginning to break away a bit now from Martin Stefanko. Risto Capit is P3, Luca Kita is P4. And I'm pretty sure alongside me is the master, Mike Rockenfeller, who took us on a lap of this fantastic Nordschleife circuit. Mike, there must be certain areas where an overtake is possible on the Nordschleife.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the track is so narrow. The guys are all on a similar pace. I think, you know, Lasse tries to sneak away here before he hits, let's say, Nöttinger Höhe. Now we're at Pflanzgarten 2. You can see the car gets light on the front. He really lifted Martin.
Yeah.
He almost took off, and now, yeah, Lasse is very good. He made a gap. Still, you will see that Martin in the slipstream is getting close. So let's wait what happens here. It's still another lap to go, and they have to really manage their energy.
Good point, Mike Rockenfeller. Thank you so much. He's able to dip into our comms as well, and the voice of experience and the voice of so much success. DTM champion, Le Mans winner as well. Nottingham Höhe. That's where we expect the potential to come from Martin Stefanko. So we go on board with Lasse Sorensen, looking back from Lasse Sorensen because Stefanko gets closer, gets out of the draft and gets alongside Lasse Sorensen. Now they go side by side and Stefanko is through. However, Lasse Sorensen now getting the advantage, coming back at Martin Stefanko. So, Lasse Sorensen then, maybe this is all part of the master plan. But at the moment it is Martin Stefanko that leads the way. The first lap is done. We're back onto the sprint circuit now. And the order is Martin Stefanko from Lasse Sorensen, Luca Kita, Risto Capit, Philippe Dennis, Bruno Senna. And then it is Nicholas Hillebrand. So Lasse Sorensen really trying to close in on Martin Stefanko. Now, do bear in mind that, as Mike has indicated, that Nottingham Höhe straight, as we round out the lap, and we've got only this one now to do, that is where you can really get the benefit of the slipstream. And, of course, Lasse Sorensen is in P2. Well, assuming that he can get the rest of the Nordschleife right, and in fairness, his first lap was certainly right, he is going to be doing all he can to get that stream off the back of Martin Stefanko. Stefanko, what he wants to do is build a huge margin over Lasse Sorensen to, of course, prevent that. We're on board with Luca Kita then, running in P3. So we have an esports driver beating at the moment the pro driver Lasse Sorensen. Then in P3 it's Luca Kita. P4 is another esports racer, Risto Capit, ahead of Philippe Dennis, Bruno Senna and Nicholas Hillebrand. So the cars make their way onto the Nordschleife again for the final time of asking in this, the RCCO World EX Championship, which has been an absolute blast. Whether you're a competitor, whether you're a race fan, or whether, like me, you are but a voice, it has been such a good program to be involved in. I've loved every moment of it. And Lasse Sorensen is some 6.5 tenths down on Martin Stefanko. Martin Stefanko is leading the way. You can see the concentration on Lasse Sorensen's face. He knows what he's got to do. He has been so dominant in this season of the World EX Championship. He wants to go out on the ultimate high, and the ultimate high is to take the Drivers' Championship title, of course, here at the Nordschleife. So Stefanko, though, it is that he's leading at the moment, and the TK9 E-Speed driver, TK9 E-Speed, bear in mind, are already champions in terms of teams. And Lasse Sorensen really reeling in Martin Stefanko now. The gap between them is down to 4 tenths, 3 tenths now, as Lasse Sorensen uses everything that he's got here to try and find a way past Martin Stefanko. He's reeling him in, he's getting closer and closer. Stefanko is under pressure here. Well, we've still got an awful lot of the lap to do, and those very unforgiving high curbs here on the Nordschleife, as the top two have broken away a little bit from Luca Kita and Risto Capit. 3 of the top 4 places held by esports drivers on this RCCO World EX Championship finale. The Williams esports driver Martin Stefanko leading the way. His teammate Bruno Senna in P5. Lasse Sorensen there, you can see. Brilliant camera shot, that is. The roller coaster of the Nordschleife playing out to full effect then. And the man that is taming it the best at the moment is Martin Stefanko. The vantage points there are for spectators around this Nordschleife, utterly legendary. And so too is the drive from these two drivers at the moment. Martin Stefanko doing a brilliant job. This is a superb onboard camera on the car of Lasse Sorensen, this hugely powerful EX0 machine. Around this right-hander, really holding on to it, perhaps the back end slipping out just a little bit, but beautifully controlled by Lasse Sorensen. But Martin Stefanko is making no mistakes. You get the impression that even though as much tarmac as there is around the Nordschleife, as Mike Rockefeller has indicated, it is narrow. And it is all going to come down to the final straight, which is one of the longest. And that, of course, is the Dottinger Höhe. But we're a long way from that at the moment. Martin Stefanko, he looks pretty cool. But Lasse Sorensen is getting closer. There is no question about that. Lasse Sorensen perhaps just biding his time here. And Martin Stefanko, more than well aware of the fact as they rocket through the carousel. Is it going to be Mike Rockenfeller all out on the Dottinger Höhe? I rather think it is.
Yes, I definitely think it is. You can see Lasse is sitting there and waiting. The question is Martin maybe let him go before the Dottinger Höhe and then try to get the slipstream? Let's see. I mean, again, now he's pulling away slightly, but I think Lasse is planning it, so it will be a very close one here.
I think you are absolutely right. Some strategy being played out here. So Martin Stefanko then running downhill now, and Lasse Sorensen just biding his time. But of course, if Martin Stefanko can get far enough up the road, he's got 1.2 seconds worth of margin now over Lasse Sorensen. It is Stefanko, Sorensen, Keita, Capet, Senna, Dennis, Hillebrand. So now, this man, Lasse Sorensen, really needs to take the hurry-up pill and get on terms with Martin Stefanko, because the time is going to run out. So you can hear the excitement in the drivers then on the live team radio that we're able to bring you. Not a word from any of them. The reason not, because they're too darn busy concentrating on trying to get the best and the most out of this Nordschleife. So the Williams esports racer that we're on board with right now has pulled out 1.2 seconds worth of margin over Lasse Sorensen. So Martin Stefanko doing a very good job here. Now this is it. This is the opportunity for Lasse Sorensen potentially. So we are on board with Martin Stefanko. Has he built enough of a margin to prevent Lasse Sorensen from coming back at him? I think he has. So Martin Stefanko, wily, wise racing driver, as there's a fight going on for P3 between Risto Cabot and Luca Keita, and Risto Cabot has got the better of Luca Keita. But Martin Stefanko has got but a few turns to do. Lasse Sorensen was not close enough when he needed to be. And that means as they head towards the line, Martin Stefanko wins. Look how delighted he is.
Dude, the tires are, oh my god.
Oh.
Yes!
Good job, Martin, the fastest guy on, I guess.
Woo! Let's go! Oh.
I think he's pretty pleased, you know. Well done, Martin Stefanko.
Martin, did you get it, my friend?
Yes!
Awesome.
World champion!
Yes, nice.
Woo! Oh, yes.
You can see the inhales of breath. The Williams esports driver has done it.
Slipstream kept it exciting.
It did that, that's for sure. Thank you, Risto. Martin Stefanko, P1. Lasse Sorensen, P2. Risto Capet, P3. Luca Keita, P4. Bruno Senna, P5. Philippe Dennis, P6. And Nicholas Hillebrand, P7. What a race, Nicky Shields.
Martin Stefanko, a huge congratulations for being our world champion, our first world champion. How does that feel? I mean, talk us through. Let's talk us through that moment when you passed Lasse Sorensen at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually thinking for a few seconds that I was not going to get slipstream because the gap before the long straight was over a second, but I managed to have an insane that kind of final corner before the long straight, and I just caught up to Lasse and just had a huge overspeed also with the slipstream and got him. And then I just knew that I need to get the gap over 1 second, and I just could not do it. No matter what I was doing, I just could not get over 1 second with that slipstream, how huge it is. I just could not get the gap over 1 second. But the last sector is very technical, and the whole season I was able to keep my tires in shape, but you can't really show it when the races are so short. So with this race being longer, basically like 12 minutes, I could really, show my advantage when it comes to tire wear and battery management. So that played a huge role in me creating a gap in the final sector, which was almost 1.5 seconds. And then it was just, not making a mistake and taking it home.
I mean, that was incredible that you managed to finish the race 1.5 seconds ahead of Lasse Sorensen. We're celebrating the first World EX World Champion, our Drivers' Champion, Martin Stefanko. The celebrations are going off at the moment. You're going to have a glass of champagne tonight. What are you going to do to celebrate? In fact?
I'm definitely going to celebrate. I just heard my mom shouting downstairs. So, we're for sure going to celebrate. Yeah. It's going to be a long night.
And I mean, what it must mean a lot to the team as well, to the Williams esports team that you've joined and you've been part of. I mean, what does this mean to them?
I'm pretty sure it means a lot. Basically, Williams esports, they saved my career. I was about to retire because I had no time for practice and for racing anymore. And they saved me. I was able to start doing sim racing full time with them. And I've been together with them for over 1 year, and this is our first World Championship. So hopefully many more to come. And just incredibly happy. I was so confident in myself for this event. I'm usually not that confident. I'm usually like doubting myself in certain situations, but for this event, I was just so sure in myself that I'm gonna do it. I'm just so happy that it happened. And huge thanks to the team as well, and thanks to Bruno as well for being an amazing teammate, and the team has been amazing as well. Amazing support from them. I couldn't have asked for a better team, really. So I'm really glad that I can give this back to them for all the things that they've done for me.
Well, all of that hard work really paid off. Congratulations there to Martin Stefanko and, of course, Bruno Senna, who finished in P5. Let's have a quick catch-up with Lasse Sorensen, who has been the dominant force of this championship, no doubt. Lasse, what are your thoughts? Martin Stefanko there, just taking the win narrowly ahead of you.
Yeah, that's how it is. He was faster today, so I couldn't really. I really tried to keep keeping his slipstream for the whole lap, but that was like the last sector he did was amazing. So impossible for me to do anything there. But I'm still super happy for the whole TK9 Speed and the whole team and the whole being a part of this whole championship was amazing. And also in the first year, so I'm super happy for everyone. And Martin really deserved this win today. I couldn't really do more. That was maximum for me, and he was just a better driver today.
Well, that's brilliant to see your support of his win. And of course, as you say, still a fantastic result for the team. You're still bringing home 4 wins for the TK9 eSpeed team. And I'm sure Tom Christiansen is sitting at home celebrating somewhere, hopefully with a glass of champagne in his hand. So well done. Huge congratulations. And the fact that you enjoyed it so much, does that mean you're going to be back for another year?
Well, I have to speak with the boss, Tom. I mean, I'm probably gonna speak with him when he gets like 4 or 5 glasses of champagne. Then it's a bit easier. But yeah, hopefully next year I'll be back again. It's amazing championship, and it's fun to try something different compared to what you're used to. So and also playing a different game than what I'm used to. I've never done any racing in R-Factor beside Virtual Le Mans, and then joining a whole championship in R-Factor was quite a nice experience, to be fair. So hopefully more of this in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, it's an interesting point. What about the format of the show? Have you enjoyed it? You know, the idea of having the title decider in just one race at the end, you know, a bit like you would in soccer or other sports. How have you found that?
I mean, it's great because you have, all the excitement coming into the final race of the whole season. But I mean, in the situation I'm in right now, I wish it was just about the wins in the championship. But that's how it is, man. That's how it is. A part of the game.
Yeah, well, you've been an absolutely brilliant competitor throughout, always playing by the rules, a very good driver indeed. So it's been brilliant to have you part of it. Thank you very, very much. Lasse Sorensen there, today's runner-up. So for one last time, these are the final driver standings. It's Martin Stefanko for Williams Esports who takes the win, the championship title for the World EX Driver Championship. Lasse Sorensen is the runner-up and a very well-deserved runner-up indeed. Risto Capet, Philip Dennis, Luca Kita, Bruno Senna make up the top 6. Then coming in at P7, it's Nicholas Hillebrand, Alan Terzig, P8, P9, Mickey Hoyer, and P10, Gordon Much. So there you have it. That is how the team standings looks at the end of the 10 rounds. In P1, it is Tom Christian's team, the TK9 eSpeed team, with Williams Esports there as the runners-up in P2. Biella Racing Team Euronics, BS Plus Competition in P4, R8G Esports in P5, followed by Absolute Racing, Esports Team WRT, Nianco Esports, and finally in P9, Patrick Long Esports. So, can't believe it. Mike, Dave, this is it, guys. This is the end. Did you see that coming? I mean, it was a very, very exciting race. I genuinely thought Lasse Sorensen was just going to run away with it. You know, no one could take him in the sort of the first 2/3 of that lap. But how wrong was I? Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same. I thought he has it all under control. You know, I knew Martin is extremely good on this track. So yeah, Lasse said it. You know, at the end he won most of the races, but he didn't win the championship. We have a kind of different format, and I think it's really cool. I think we have seen also, like in real life, how important the track is, because for sure on the short one we saw rather boring races here and there. And then you go on the Nordschleife and the car looks so fast and so dynamic and really cool. And for me, the Nordschleife was really a highlight. Congrats to all of the drivers which participated in our championship. I think we learned a lot and I enjoyed it a lot. And we will work hard to make sure next year is even better. I'm very proud of all the people in the background working on it and also the teams joining us, the drivers, you know, to be with us, to build this together. I think is a very cool journey. And yeah, like I said, Nordschleife was a highlight and for sure the oval was very cool as well. So I'm very excited and I think Martin is a well-deserved winner.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. You know, you really could see the sort of the 1,000 brake horsepower of the EX0 car just looking so great at the track today. You know, it looked so fast. I don't know how the drivers were wrestling with the car at such high speed. But let's have a quick final word from Dave, the wonderful voice of the World EX Championship. Dave, what did you make of that grand finale?
Well, it delivered everything I expected it to, except I was with Mike, and I thought Lasse Sorensen had got it all under control. And I'll tell you what it does do, it just provides absolute confirmation that just when we think the fat lady is going to sing, she doesn't. Because, you know, to take nothing away from Martin, what a fantastic job. But the whole series has been phenomenal. And, of course, to really buy into the World EX Championship and its aims and its targets and what it has done, and bear in mind the huge contribution to the climate that this is making. My hat is off to the likes of Mike Rockenfeller and for Thomas as well for creating such a fantastic series, which I've been very proud to be a part of. And what the heck am I going to do on Tuesday nights now? Because I don't like dominoes.
You just have to start another Netflix series. I've got a few I can recommend. But no, Dave, couldn't agree with you more. It's been an absolute pleasure to be part of the original, the first time that the World EX Championship has run, and we're looking forward to seeing where obviously the money that has been raised that Martin Stefanko will pledge to his charity goes towards. So for one final time, do you want to say a final word, Mike, before I say our goodbyes?
Well, like I said, I hope to see all of you next year. I think what we also need to maybe say now, we need some more sponsorship. We need some more partners on board, because I think we are doing a great project, and this is for a good cause. Like you just said, Martin now has quite some budget to spend on a really nice project. Hopefully, the one he choose. And I think that's cool. That's unique. I don't think there's any other championship raising that much money for a good cause, for a climate project. So I'm very proud.
Absolutely. And, getting to know the cities that we've raced in and the zero facts. And it really has been not just about the esports, but about the battle that we're all in together to fight climate change. So a huge thank you for one last time to all of our drivers, to everyone who's competed, obviously to Dave Richardson, to Mike Rockenfeller, and to the incredible team behind the scenes who have been working so hard to pull this all together. And we are very, very excited to see you again in 2022. So for one last time, goodbye from me and the rest of the team. Take care.
Bye-bye.